Today's episode of the Nateland Podcast is brought to you by AG1, DraftKings Pick 6, Rocket Money, and Lectric eBikes. Hello, folks, and hey, Bear. I'm Brian Bates, as always, here with Dusty Slay.
All right.
Aaron Weber.
What's up, man?
Nate, as we mentioned last week, is out this week.
Sitting by the lake.
Yeah. I was going to say he was in jail, but I guess.
I don't know what he's up to. He could be in jail.
We don't know.
But this is episode 199.
Yeah.
Isn't it? That's pretty crazy.
And Dusty joined us for episode 100. So
we're about to be more Dusties than not.
Well, technically speaking, I think 3 guest spots before actually joining.
Yeah.
So there already are more.
That was your audition period.
Yeah.
But you've missed a few, so.
Oh, I have missed a few. That's true. Oh, you know what? And just
I'm missing next week.
And just for that, let's see. I'd like to pull up something, if you don't mind.
All right.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. I'd like to read something here that was written about me recently.
Every week he does this now.
I love it. Dump Dusty.
Dusty sucks so bad. I think he's trying to say loved here. He said, lived the podcast best when the funny was on Nate's shoulders. So I don't really know what he's trying to say here, but at the heart of it, he hates me. And his name is Tacos and Jits, and he looks like a physically violent man.
What platform was that from?
Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Off our Goliath and Goliath video.
Oh, that was a hot clip.
Yeah. My dog, my car, my food. That's what he says. But anyway, he hates me. And so just want you guys to know that's going on out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He clearly doesn't think much of me and Brian either.
No.
I like it when just Nate was bringing the laughs, and now Dusty's trying.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't even notice you guys, and I've physically replaced Nate in his eyes.
That's right. Well, you're in his chair right now.
Well, Nate was on that podcast that I was on, the David and Goliath episode. He was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this guy hates me, though. And he loved it when it was just on Nate's shoulders. He's just like, I want Nate to be tired. I want him to shoulders to hurt. Mm-hmm. The man needs to be working all the time to keep this guy happy.
I want him beaten down.
Yeah.
What about Aaron and Brian? Nah. We'll just stick with Dusty, I guess.
He's like, who?
I didn't know there were other guys.
Well, it's good to be here.
Yeah.
It's good to see the two of y'all.
I'm excited to be here. We've all had pretty big weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty, I guess we'll go around the room. You had a crazy week.
You had a great week. I went to L.A. I took my entire family. I took my wife, Hannah. I took my daughter and my son and my sister and my niece.
Wow.
My niece is 21, so we took, and we had so much luggage. Car seats. I ordered an Uber XL to go to the thing, and then I realized there's no way we can get all of this luggage and people into. So we had to order 2 Ubers there to the airport. And then I rented a Wagoneer, a Jeep Wagoneer.
They're unbelievable, aren't they?
Oh man, I love that.
They're so
thing.
Cool.
I was bullying people on the interstate.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it was really great. I want one of those now.
Uh-huh.
The freeway.
I never drove a car like that. Yeah, the freeway. I never drove a car.
It has that little thing. It's such a small detail where it projects the speed limit up onto the windshield. Did you notice that at all?
I don't think I noticed that.
Man.
Maybe mine didn't.
There's all kinds of cool little features like that on a Wagoneer.
I loved it, though. I was into it. But yeah, when we got there on Wednesday, we chilled. We rented a place on Hermosa Beach. I'm tired. And it was great. Went to the beach. And then on Thursday, I did Pete Holmes' podcast.
You made it weird.
Yeah.
Did you make it weird?
No, I had a great time talking to him. That was a lot. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
We did a 2-hour podcast, just the two of us. And it really kind of flew by.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, it was really fun. And then that night, me and Hannah did our podcast, the We're Having a Good Time podcast, live at the Original Room in the Comedy Store.
So cool.
And that was super fun.
I listened to a little bit of it. It sounded great, man.
Yeah,
the crowd was into it. They know,
Yeah, I mean,
you can tell they'd listened to the podcast before.
I think only like 6 people had listened to it, and I think the rest of the people were overflow from they couldn't buy tickets to my Troubadour show.
Yeah,
but it was hot. I mean, we just were in there joking, and I did a little stand up at the top, and then towards the end, we were like, well, we've ran out of stuff to talk about. So I just started doing some open mic jokes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I spit all over the table here. And just started doing some open mic jokes. It was great.
Did Hannah catch the bug again? Is she going to be doing stand up?
I think, now that Zanies has the lab, I think we would like to try to do some live podcasts there.
That'd be fun.
I think that'd be really fun. I pitched it to Brian Dorfman. I ran into him in LA. And then on Thursday, me and Hannah did Bert Kreischer's wife's podcast, Leanne Kreischer.
Wife of the party.
Wife of the party. And it was really great. She was so nice. Me and her have a lot in common.
Yeah, you're very Southern, both of you.
Very Southern. She grew up probably more poor than me.
Where's she from?
She's from Georgia.
Okay.
But she grew up in a trailer park and then moved into a log cabin, which is like the same as me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We had so much fun talking to her, and then hung out with Bert a little bit. He was at the house. It was fun to see him. I'd not seen him in a long time, and because I've been doing theaters now, so I got a couple of the theaters I did opening for Bert in 2018. I'm now headlining.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and Bert was I remember working with Bert at Lexington. Comedy off Broadway. Yeah. And this was a pretty famous episode where, not episode, but he talked about it on a podcast where he had to use the bathroom while on stage. So he brought me back on stage so he could go use the bathroom. It was hot. It's a hot show. Because I was ready. I had some short jokes I could do real fast.
Yeah.
And then, so it was cool. Well, the reason I say is because I remember thinking, man, if I could just, he sold out all those shows. And I thought, if I could just do this, that's all I need. And now since then, I have gone back to Comedy Off Broadway and sold out all the shows.
Yeah, the goalposts move, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Now if I can only sell out a stadium,
then
I'll be happy.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. I am happy.
I know.
But it is, you're right. The goalposts do move. Though.
Yeah.
Now that I'm in theaters, I'm like, we've started adding some shows.
It's crazy.
So. And
I saw you added a show in Phoenix.
Yeah.
The Orpheum.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's
big
pretty
time.
awesome.
Big time, man.
So we did that. And then that night I did 2 shows at the Troubadour. Sold out shows. And that's a rock venue. Venue is where they say Elton John became a rock star.
Right.
Oh.
So that was my joke throughout. I go, I hope that happens for me.
Yeah, I have always called you the Elton John of stand-up comedy.
I was like, well, I hope midway through I become a...
I believe in that Elton John movie, if I remember correctly, there's a big scene at the Troubadour.
Oh, okay.
Where he, like you said, that's his first foray into America and becomes a big star here.
Yeah, so really historic venue. I think a lot of the staff there was pretty bored with comedy being there, but the bouncer felt the late show early show was really, really great. The late show was super rowdy. Like people showed up, they bought a bunch of my merch. There were hats, Dusty Slay hats all throughout the crowd.
That's fun.
But they were all drunk. They were yelling. People had to get kicked out. People on my management had to wake up a bouncer to get him to kick somebody out. But it was like, I liked it because a lot of industry people came and my show was good. They got to really see me work it. So I'm like, all these comedy clubs I've done throughout the years where things get really rowdy really paid off because I'm like, I'm working the crowd. Guys, people are yelling out things and I'm getting, like, I feel like I've moved beyond this. Like, I'm still nice on stage, but I've moved beyond this extreme nice on stage to where I can call people out now, and it doesn't completely take me out of character.
That's because you have some leverage now because you're selling tickets.
Yeah. Maybe that's it.
For years, you're up there going, I can't even believe that they are letting me on this stage, and I don't want to ruin that.
I guess that's right.
You got a little bit of that. Now you're like, I sold out 2 shows.
I guess you're right.
I can be a little mean up here.
But I just got a joke about a guy, getting tips. And it's like the point of the joke is that he's not made very much money. And so I I say, I made $14 a day. And the guy goes, that's less than minimum wage here. And I'm like, what are you even yelling out? You think I'm looking to know the minimum wage in town? I got so mad at that guy.
Oh, that's great.
And I referenced him over and over throughout the show.
It just made him feel bad about himself.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing? People were getting kicked out left and right in the show. And it was like, I was loving it. People from all and then, all right, so that's Friday. So then Saturday, I do, at 3 p.m., I do Leanne Morgan's show. I open for Leanne Morgan at Pantages Theater.
Yeah.
Super hot show. Laura Peak is on the show. It's Laura Peak, then me, and then Leanne.
That's a good show.
It's a hot show.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a really
How big is the Pantages? A few
1,200 seat.
Oh, that's great.
It was super hot show. Big time industry there, right?
Of course.
After the show.
The industry loves swooping in for these fun shows, right?
After the show, though, I met Chuck Lorre.
Oh,
wow. Who's made all these great shows.
Yeah. Young Sheldon.
About to be making a show with Leanne.
Yeah.
Well, Big Bang Theory. Which is a huge
Young
hit.
Sheldon, too.
Yeah, okay.
Dharma and Greg.
This guy told me, though, he said, you have mastered your craft. That's what he said to me.
Chuck Lorre said that
That's
to
what he
you.
said
Wow.
to me. Yeah.
Wow. Maybe we'll get a young Dusty.
Yeah. So the day before, I'm being yelled at some minimum wage thing by a guy. And then the next day, Chuck Lorre is giving me high praise. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And felt good. Was really good. And then I went over to the Improv immediately after getting high praise from Chuck Lorre and having a pretty mediocre set, feeling pretty new to comedy.
Yeah.
And
Whose show was this?
this is a showcase show. I mean,
Okay.
it was fine, but I had 15 minutes, and I'm like, I feel like I was really getting the audience into it, and then my time was over. And then I went over to the Comedy Store and did the Belly Room. So now I've officially done comedy in all the rooms of the Comedy Store.
That's great.
I did Steve Fury's show, which is a secret, kind of like people put secrets in a bucket, and then you pull it out and just kind of improv.
Secrets.
Yeah, they'll put like their secrets on a sheet of paper.
Oh.
And then you pull them out of a hat, and you don't know who it is. You're just reading.
But it's true about somebody in the room.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But were they crazy over the top secrets? Like I murdered somebody in the 80s or something?
Some of them were like that, but some of them were like even kind of weak secrets. But it was fun to, improv.
Still
with
pins from work.
Did you call them weak on stage?
Yeah, some of them, yeah.
This is Dusty Unleashed in LA.
Yeah.
These weak secrets.
I know.
you
I
got.
was getting wild. And it was fun though. One I pulled out, I was like, this was really fun. Yeah, I pulled out the secret and I read it and I go, well, this seems to be directed at me. And then it said, you're gay.
Oh, that's great.
So it was fun. It was a fun time. And Giannis Pappas was on that show.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Nateland alumnus.
Oh, yeah. I never met him, but we did 2 shows together. Very funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
Very funny. I still think I was the best on the show, but I would give him second best.
Yeah.
And then that was it. Then on Sunday, I went out to the. I wanted to
point this out. I don't know what's going on here, but you seem to be pushing Leanne away.
Well, I was trying to push her down.
Well,
This is after you brought her on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always an
like,
awkward little.
She goes, I'm nervous. I go, get out there.
if you're listening, it looks like Dusty's stiff arming Leanne from behind.
But I'll be waving out here. So that's what it is. It's more of a.
That's like halfway between a handshake to Leanne and a wave to the crowd.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had a hot set. She's coming out on stage. It's like.
Get out of
There's a
here.
lot going on. People were standing up at this point. We don't know if they were giving me a standing ovation or Leanne.
Right. It's tough to say.
But Leanne is so funny.
Oh,
She's great, man.
I already knew she was, but man, she just murdered that
Had you
show.
seen her do a set for her audience like that?
I don't think
it's
so.
a different animal, man.
She murdered that show.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a hot set. I mean, not for 1 second did I think
I'm
that was-
bombing.
Yeah, no. I mean, not, but it's just like, I did so well, but Leanne just comes out and just next level.
They forget
Oh, yeah.
about you immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I never thought, oh, yeah, I crushed, like, oh, man, this is going to be tough to follow.
Follow that,
right.
Leanne.
I never thought that, but I also didn't think that I would, be immediately forgotten about.
Mhm.
But,
Yeah, I'm glad.
yeah.
You need to get brought down to earth a little bit.
Yeah. You're doing too well.
Yeah. No, but it was great. And then I went to Long Island Aquarium, the Aquarium of the Pacific, on Sunday.
It's called Long Island?
It's Long Beach.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was like, you hopped over to New York?
Yeah.
No wonder you're tired.
Yeah. Long Beach, the Aquarium of the Pacific.
Okay.
Which is fun. I took the kids. Daisy's never been to an aquarium. Sam, at 10 months old, was really into it. I mean, the boy was really looking at stuff. And so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
He would get up on the aquarium and just stare in there. He loved it. And my sister, who's, lives in a place called Goodwater, Alabama, very small town.
Is it near Flint?
I don't think so. I get it. It's interesting, though. Her husband went to college in Flint.
Okay.
So maybe that's why they picked the town. He's like, I'm looking for some good water.
Gotta balance it out.
Yeah.
He's leaving Flint. He types in good water.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
That's hilarious.
That's very
funny. But she,
But it is a tragedy what's happening up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should say that.
My sister's very religious, like myself. And, but she, doesn't travel like I do. And she really thought she would hate LA.
Mm-hmm.
She loved it.
She got swept up in it,
she
man.
loved it.
It's the belly of the beast, dude.
Yeah.
It'll get you.
She loved it. I mean,
she's going to auditions right now.
Yeah. I mean, she had a great time. I thought my niece would like it, but I wasn't sure my sister would like it, but she was into it. She met my manager, Judy, and Judy's a, very in control woman.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister was just really blown away by Judy because she was so nice. But she was really every room she walked into, she took control.
She's the alpha of every room. Yeah.
And it is true, though.
Sure.
I mean, I met
Judy's
Judy.
a powerful woman.
I met Judy in a restaurant, and we weren't expecting to eat, but we had a little time before the show. So there wasn't room at Judy's table. So Judy gets up. Next thing I know, they're moving us to another. And it's like, they took us to a bigger table, brought all our stuff. No one seemed irritated by it. They were and it was great.
Yeah, that's power, man.
It is.
They came right over, took our order. I mean, maybe this is just what happens in restaurants, but it ain't what happens for me. I tried to go to a sushi place that was they have gotten a Michelin, which is an award you can get in a restaurant.
Michelin star.
Yeah, which is impossible to get. And I couldn't find how to make a reservation on the restaurant. So me and Hannah just walked in, and then this old Japanese lady comes over, very nice, but almost already sweeping us out. She goes, "Do you have a reservation?" And we're like, "No, I couldn't figure out how to." She goes, "Oh, we're booked up," and just kind of pushes on us on out with a smile the whole time. But just she's "Ask, do you have a reservation?" Knowing that we don't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
And but it was great. Had a great time.
So if you didn't get Japanese sushi,
I was like, Chuck Lorre said
Judy's my manager.
You see Judy in the back.
Yeah.
Should have tried some AG1.
That is true. I need some AG1 now because I've just been eating on the road. Hey, it's important to me that the supplements I take are of the highest quality.
So important.
And that's why for the past year and a half, I've been drinking AG1.
Every day.
Unlike many supplement brands, AG1 conducts relentless testing to set the standard for purity and potency.
Yes.
I know I can trust what's in every scoop of AG1 because it's tested for 950 contaminants and banned substances, while the industry standard typically only tests for 10.
Whoa.
So that's 940 more. I like that there's a lot of big words in here. I love to read those. Taking care of my health shouldn't be complicated. The AG1 simplifies this by making it so there aren't, there's a typo in here. It says,
You hung up on it.
well, it says simplifies this by making is so there aren't.
Oh, okay.
But it's supposed to be
That's good.
making it so it. So there aren't a million different pills and capsules to keep track of. And, I don't like to have a lot of a million pills. I got a lot of pockets where I'll have pills in a lot of different pockets.
Yep.
With AG1, you don't need that. It's just a one thing.
It's one thing.
It's just one scoop of AG1 mixed with water every day. It covers all my nutritional bases and setting myself up for success in just 60 seconds. You can do it faster, honestly. If you want to stir fry, you can do it. I can do it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, 15.
AG1's ingredients are heavily researched for efficacy and quality, and I love that every scoop also includes vitamin C and zinc to support my immune health. Zinc is very important. We've partnered with AG1 for so long because they make such a high-quality product that I genuinely look forward to drinking every day. So if you want to replace your multivitamin or more, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3+K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first subscription at drinkag1.com/Nate. That's drinkag1.com/Nate. Check it out.
Check it out. There it is.
Was that good?
That was great.
That was great.
It was great. It was just funny. You said, I love these big words. And then you were like,
The small ones are what get me.
you started stuttering. I go, what's this big word coming? And you said, it.
I know.
You said one word. I don't think
This coffee's strong.
efficacy.
Efficacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Efficacious. What were you up to this weekend, Brian?
I was on the road with Nate. We did Loveland, Colorado Springs, and Rio Rancho, New Mexico, which is just outside Albuquerque. And we flew in. Well, Nate, and I'm sure he'll talk about it more maybe next week when he's back. He was doing shows with Seinfeld, Gaffigan, and Sebastian.
Right.
That was Thursday, I think. We flew in Thursday, a day ahead of time, to Colorado and went up to Fort Collins. And our friend Derek Stroop was doing a show there. So we went and hung out with him at the club there. But, so.
Your friend Derek Stroop. Don't bring me into this.
Okay, sorry. Aaron and I's friend.
I don't even know the guy, but yeah, keep going.
I was going to do a guest set on Catherine Blanford's show in Denver, but it didn't work out because the bus was taking us to Fort Collins. I'm now dropping shows I didn't do.
I was good.
I was going to do a free 5 minutes, but didn't work out. But I could
Had to catch the bus.
Yeah.
Greyhound was leaving.
Mega bus. No,
Okay.
name dropping shows I didn't do. But man, Thursday when we flew out, we flew Southwest.
Yes, sir.
And Johnny W. and I were both flying out there. And Nate's people were nice enough to put us in, I guess, business class, A1 and A2.
Business select.
Whoa.
Business select, A1.
Yeah,
That's
about it.
first class, basically.
Yeah, you can sit wherever you want.
And Johnny was A1 and I was A2. And he,
Of course.
yeah,
Of course.
excuse me. He was texting me just jokingly like, look at me, I'm A1. Sorry, buddy, whatever. I really planned poorly getting to the airport. It was an afternoon flight. I just made some dumb decisions. I didn't schedule my Uber, and then it was taking way too long to get to my house.
Yeah.
I finally I got to cancel this Uber and drive to the airport. 440 was backed up. I'm texting. I'm like, I'm not going to make it to board by A2, I don't think.
Right.
And at one point, I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to make my flight. That's how desperate I was.
Well,
Somehow,
it's classic Brian. It's a cow being led to the slaughter. This is what it is.
Johnny, being a responsible adult, gets there like an hour ahead of time.
Right.
He's there waiting before I've even left my house, I think. All that. So I park, I run, I have to check a bag, I run through the airport or whatever.
Are you actually running through it?
Yeah. And we've seen me run.
I love that. I hope that Nateland people were there and they go, he's practicing running.
Yeah. Somehow,
Do you know where you were in the airport? Were you far? Was it like a high C number?
I think it was C6.
Okay. That's not too bad of a run, but it's still a little bit of a.
Yeah, it's on back there.
Yeah.
You got to get them T gates.
Mm-hmm.
That's the new one.
That's American, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're still like real people.
Yeah,
we
we're
fly
Southwest. Yeah.
That's right.
So I'm just hauling back there. Somehow, I parked. I think our flight started boarding at 2:25. I parked like at 2:08. and I had to go check a bag and all that stuff. Somehow I get there right. They're already doing the pre-board. I make it in time.
Amazing.
Before we even started boarding, right when they're like, all right, now general boarding. Johnny's the first one. I mean, I just walked up. They stop and say, sir, that bag's too big. You're going to have to check that. They hold him up, and I just walked right past him. He's been there an hour waiting, and I walked right past him and just walked on the plane, got whatever seat I wanted.
I love it.
Wow.
Johnny was in the back.
Yeah.
Now, he got the seat he wanted, but it's just funny how.
You're also drenched in sweat, though.
Well, that's true.
It's a good day to be thankful for the amount of wheelchairs that might have boarded before you.
That's right.
Because it really held it back.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this, Brian. If you were to get there a little bit later, you can board after the A group if you have an A. If you have an A on your boarding pass, you can just hop in there.
Skip above.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You mean like before I don't have to wait till the end of the C's. Just
Yeah, you could have hopped in there whenever.
Yeah. I knew that. I'm just
Okay.
But he boarded A1.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I somehow
Feels
made
good.
it, but I was irresponsible and somehow got lucky. And then poor Johnny, who's been there so long, and they're
Uh-huh.
like, sir, that bag.
that's actually pretty ridiculous, though, of the airline. Like, he's been standing.
That's what I said.
And he's
there.
probably the type of guy, he's probably standing at that pole.
He's right there. The
Right.
gate agent's right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole time he takes one step, sir,
Yeah.
that bag's too big.
Johnny L.
Yeah, exactly. But also, how does Johnny not know that his bag's too big?
I don't know.
Johnny doing? Johnny's
Yeah,
an experienced
He's a
traveler.
seasoned traveler.
I think it was a new bag or something. And
Come on,
I don't
wow.
know. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. He
Embarrassing.
said it is embarrassing. Anyway,
Shows were good, though.
so
I had so many bags with my family. I mean, we had so many things. It was, I never traveled like that before. I just had to say that. Just talking about, we just had big bags.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, anyway.
shows were great. I'm sore from all the physical activity that I'm not used to. The first night after the show, we went bowling. Nate's a good bowler. I am not. And I'm not the worst, but it's kind of like the 40. My form's by far the worst. Somehow I get lucky and knock some pins down.
Uh-huh.
But Nate's a pretty good bowler, but my arm's actually sore from bowling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I go bowling, the next day I think I'm having a heart attack.
It's just funny. I thought you were about to say y'all did CrossFit or something. You're like, this physical activity.
Well, that's.
I mean,
I'm
we
just-
went bowling the first.
I'm getting started.
Yeah, I know.
Then, I mean, it's like midnight or 1 a.m. Central Time.
Right.
And he's like, let's play laser tag. I have never played laser tag in my life. I think I'm the only one in the group that had never played. I think it wasn't even a thing when I was a kid. And
Lasers weren't even invented yet.
yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. I didn't even know how to get my vest on. Everybody else is just suiting up like they're going into battle. And they're like, I was already like, this is awkward. I thought we'd be playing against each other. We're playing against a bunch of teenagers.
So, like, you and Nate are on the same team. Is it teams or is it a free for all?
It's teams. There's like 7 of us or whatever. And then there's like 7 of the other guys,
Mm-hmm.
kids. I can't get my vest on. I'm having to get the guy who works there to put my vest on. Sorry about my voice. And then they just rush us in there. I don't even know what we're doing. My gun doesn't work. But I'm not sure because I've never played before. But I'm like, I don't think my guns are. And all these little kids are just coming up and pow, pow, pow. And they're laughing and then they're running off. And the whole time we're playing, I don't know what, everybody else is into it. And Nate's like, cover my 6. I'm like, I don't know what that means. And I don't think my gun's working, but I don't want to say anything. But I'm not sure. We get done and we go outside to look at the scores.
It pulls up all your stats.
He pulls up all our stats and everybody's looking at it. And they're high scores. I don't know if you've played laser tag or whatever. They win like 50,000 to 47,000 something, blah, blah, blah.
Close game.
Close game. They look at all the numbers and then somebody has 0 points. Like everybody else has 5,000 or something. There's somebody has 0. And Nate's like, what 0? What is 0? Like Nate's competitive about it. I'm just in the back. I never say a word. He still doesn't know that my gun didn't work or I didn't know how to use it. So
You never even fired a shot, though.
It really is the most Brian thing that you have 0 points, that your gun didn't work.
You're just running around getting lit up.
I got lit up.
You're like, I don't think my gun's working.
And as soon as I say it, some kid just walks out and goes, pow. And then, so we did that. We played basketball, and Lachlan Patterson was with us. I don't know if you guys know Lachlan, but
A little bit, yeah.
he's like 6'5".
Mhm. Athletic too.
Very athletic. I got popped in the jaw by Eric. I'm sore from.
So they take these games seriously when they're playing.
Yeah, like Lachlan of all people was like, let's just don't get crazy and anybody get hurt. But then
Right.
as soon as we start, it gets wild.
Of
And
course.
we're out there on pavement and we're high elevation, no humidity, so we're all just gasping for air and like, why aren't I sweating?
All this sounds awful to me. Bowling I could be a part of, but that's about it.
Yeah.
If you could smoke inside.
If you're at an arena where there's a basketball gym in there, you wouldn't shoot the ball around a little bit.
I might play
Play
around a horse. Yeah.
That's what I want to do. Is just play a little horse. And then somebody
Yeah.
said, let's play 21. And I was like, oh gosh. And then somehow I was on Nate's team the whole time. He's just getting so frustrated with me because, he's like, what are you doing?
Oh, this is
I can't
perfect.
play any sports with adults that take it seriously. I'm like, come on, guys. This is not our job. I
And-
can't do it.
Greg Garcia, a friend of our podcast, came
Mhm.
along for the weekend.
Oh, that's fun.
So it was fun because Greg's my age.
Yeah.
And so we just guarded each other.
Took it easy.
Just two old guys did it. Then we had a Nateland Olympics, not a Nateland, just an Olympics one night where you might like this, Dusty. The competition was foosball, air hockey, ping pong, and cornhole.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah, those are
like
fun.
a
You could
couple of
play all
those. I
those.
like a couple of those, yeah. I'm not a ping pong guy really, but I like
How are you not a ping pong guy?
cornhole though. I'm a big fan of that game.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeez.
I
Ping
wish
pong's-
they'd change the name, but I do enjoy the game.
They call it bags in the Midwest. Called bags.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So that was fun. Julian McCullough, great at ping pong.
Oh, I would destroy him, I think.
Well, maybe you would. I mean,
I don't know.
but he was.
I
He
I'm,
was
trust
I'm
good.
okay. I'm not
Yeah.
that great.
So that was fun.
What's foosball? That's a
Little soccer guys on the.
oh yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, I like that.
mm-hmm,
Air hockey I'm into. I used to play that a little bit at the rec center
mm-hmm.
in Opelika back in the day.
Yeah. So those are things like there's not a lot of physical activity.
Yeah.
So we did that. So it was fun. The shows were great. It's amazing how many. I mean, we say this every week. How many tickets Nate's selling?
Are you getting a pop when you walk out there?
Not really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did feel like hardly. I know there were Nateland fans there, but it didn't seem like there was a.
You should go out and go. You guys know that Nate has a podcast? I'm on it. I'm a big part
I'm
of
on it every week.
Yeah.
Well, Julian would introduce me from the podcast, and there's they advertise it before the show that we have a podcast, and maybe there were a lot of Nateland fans there, but I didn't sense Nate has a very big audience other than this podcast for sure.
Right.
So
That's awesome, man.
yeah, it was fun.
Fun weekend. I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Tulsa Looney Bin. It's my second time there. There's a new owner since the last time I was there.
Okay.
This guy, Mason,
Mm-hmm.
is really doing a great job with it, man. He put a green room in, great green room. The shows were good. One was pretty wild. Some people got kicked out. And,
Wouldn't be Tulsa if it wasn't.
I know.
you
I got the full Tulsa experience.
Yeah.
Some of the nicest people on earth and then just some of the most embarrassing.
Yeah.
But great weekend. Thank you to everybody who came out. This has happened on the way back. So I landed in Nashville. We've talked about it before, how bad the baggage claim is
So
at
bad.
the Nashville airport. Maybe the worst in the country.
I think it is.
At what is otherwise a pretty great airport.
Yeah.
There's something about the baggage claim that's a problem.
And
Right?
you fly Southwest.
I fly Southwest.
See, I wrote to BNA. That's our airport the other day.
Mhm.
And they blamed it on the airline, American Airlines. And I'm like, I don't think so.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
So I get back, I'm waiting on my bag, and they start coming out from our flight. And this happens. I pulled up a picture, I took it. There's a little traffic jam coming onto the carousel. That red suitcase got wedged in that crazy looking one,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it just started to back up.
Yeah.
So all that needs to happen is that bag needs to be pulled up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is an interesting question. Just how would you handle this? I'm standing right in front of it. It gets wedged in. I look over. There's an employee right there. And I go, can I just hop over and pull that out? And she goes, absolutely not. And I go, okay, well, can you come over and pull it out? Everybody's waiting on their bags. She goes, no, I have to call somebody. So she calls somebody on her radio. We're standing there for like another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I go, can I just hop over? It'll take 2 seconds. It'll take 2 seconds to unclog this. She goes, absolutely not. You are not allowed to be on the carousel. So we're all standing around. This is 20 minutes. We're all just standing, looking at what can be solved in 5 seconds.
Is the belt still moving?
The belt's still moving under these bags.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what I do, because I've experienced this like 3 times. I just jump up there and take it off. I don't ask anybody. I just jump right up there and snatch it out of there.
Well, this is what's interesting. I wanted to do that too, but she was like, absolutely not. So I just stood there. I was a little bit of a coward in the moment.
Oh, yeah.
I also realized part of me enjoys being annoyed at stuff this. So I kind of enjoyed the moment, the camaraderie of everybody standing around complaining about this woman. You know, she's 10 feet away from us, but everybody's talking trash about her. It was kind of great. And how this ended up being resolved was she turned her back, and out of nowhere, this little Asian woman jumps up over it,
goes,
yanks it out, and everybody goes nuts. She saved the day for everybody. She jumps back. But I remember, like, I'm just staring at this employee, like, just hop over and do it for us.
I know.
If we're not allowed to do it.
Just hearing you talk about it makes me so mad, because I don't let any of those airport workers have authority over me. The TSA, it's like I have to obey you because you can talk to the police. But it's so annoying. All of this airport people, absolutely not. You could not jump up there.
Jump on the carousel.
But it's like, you can jump up there.
Yeah.
That's why I don't ask a permission from these people. This is another thing.
Yeah.
American Airlines has these, once you reach a certain status, they have these priority stickers that they put on your bag. And that means that your bags come out first. It's just a thing where you have status.
Yeah, it's clear for your bags.
It's a nice little perk to have.
Right.
Nashville, they don't even... My bag could be the last one out.
No, I like that.
We have a comment about that, actually.
Do you?
Because you mentioned that last week. So we got
it happened again. I asked the lady, I go, why do you guys not? She goes, I don't know. And it's like, well, talk to somebody.
But, dude, some of the comments being made about this woman were so funny, dude.
Can you say some of them?
Not a lot. I'll tell you off air because
Okay.
they were a little crude. But it was a lot of these women going, bye, have a good day. You ain't done nothing yet. Saying, it was so great, dude.
I love that.
Yeah. She's just sitting there not doing a thing, man.
Right? You're like, I got to call somebody. I did it yesterday. As soon as this happened, I just jumped up there and unclogged it. Because I'm like, I'm trying to get home.
Yeah.
I got 6 bags coming out and 2 strollers.
But this was 15 to 20 minutes. I've never seen a problem so obvious what it is.
Yeah.
And such an easy fix and just nothing being done about it.
Yeah.
But it was kind of fun. I kind of enjoyed it.
On my Southwest flight home yesterday, there was a little bag underneath my seat when I sat down. Like, I guess maybe from the previous flight or something. They didn't see it or whatever. And I'm like, what is this? And I reached down to, like, it's a brown paper bag to pick it up. And underneath my seat, a little dog sticks its head out. In that very moment, it is so freaky when you don't know there's a dog, and all of a sudden something comes out underneath your seat, and I'm like, "Whoa!" And then I pick up the bag, and I turn to the person behind me. I said, "Is this your bag?" And it's a blind woman. That's her seeing eye dog.
Oh my!
And she's like, "Well, what is it?" And she's feeling, and she's like, and I'm like, I'm trying to describe it to her, and she's feeling, and she's like, "No, that's not mine." But the dog, it was food in it from probably a previous flight. So the dog was just sniffing it and and was trying to get to it.
Oh, man.
So now I got just a dog around my feet the whole trip.
Wow. I got so fired up about that airport thing, by the way.
Yeah, I can tell.
It's still in me.
You're going to actively go down there and do something.
I just hate. It's just this whole, it's like, I can't do anything about it. We see the problem, but I can't do anything about it, and I can't let you fix it. And I understand that she has to tell you can't get on the carousel, because if you trip and get hurt, you can sue
they're
the
liable
airport.
or whatever. Right. Yeah, but how about you just hop over there and do it real quick?
But if you just do it, they can't stop you.
Right. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
I think it's my turn to read the comments.
All right, let's get into it. And if you are struggling with your voice, we can
if you have to cough and clear your throat throughout.
I'm sorry, guys.
No. No, it's
rather
not
me
bad,
not?
but I'm just saying I saw you struggling earlier. It
Yes.
sounds okay now, but if you are struggling,
You have to
I
do a
appreciate
lot.
it.
just let us know. We are a team here. We are a team here at Nateland,
Thank you, Aaron.
even though it doesn't seem
thank
that
you,
way
Dusty.
sometimes.
Yeah. I wish it was on Nate's shoulders. All right. Comments come from Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcast reviews, and Nateland at natebargatze.com.
Right. Or a Facebook Messenger, Brian Bates'
No.
personal Facebook page.
No.
Or you can personally hand it to me at a show.
Yeah, that's
And
fine.
if I can manage to hang on to it without losing it, I'll read it on here.
You'll lose it.
People always they continue to ask, where are all these comments? The majority, I will say, come from YouTube and the email, Nateland at natebargatze.com. That is the majority, but
Mm-hmm.
I've pulled from all these places, just so everyone knows. Kayla Hargrove. This was one of the best episodes so far. I work from home and the days get very boring, but I always look forward to Wednesdays. Also, completely agree with this week's rant about entertainment. The band's perspective is probably why they all are doing so well. Well, thank you, Kayla.
Interesting.
I've started to kind of change my mind, though, since last week.
Have you really?
Based on some of the comments from people, I do think there's a little bit of remember when, kind of just back in my day, kind of, some of the comments about shows or movies they watched back in the day. I'm like, do you not remember these movies? They weren't as clean as you think they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
there's always some crazy stuff in there that you forget about.
But I think a lot of it's just nostalgia.
Yeah.
Because everyone likes the shows or the movies from
Right.
a certain era.
I agree to a degree. I think because in the 90s, things were pretty dirty that I think we think were clean.
And
But-
80s.
But like I was watching, what was the movie? It's David Spade movie where he like The Wrong Missy. I was watching that movie and I thought that movie was really good.
Mhm.
But there were like the music and like stuff, it would be like unnecessarily dirty. Like where I'm like, whoa, we didn't need this song to pop in here all of a sudden, where it's just like really explicit lyrics where otherwise it's pretty tame. And I just think that's kind of the issue for me, is like a lot of this stuff is just like unnecessary crudeness.
Gratuitous.
Yeah, where
They
it
would
doesn't bring anything to the table.
Sure.
It's like somebody was talking about the movie Nate watched. I read on a comment, like they were like, it showed, full on, the full package of these people. And I'm like, is that too much?
The full package of these people?
No, I think it's funny. That's a funny way to say it.
And it's like, and it's like when you showed the trailer, just the trailer I was watching, I was like, oh, well, that's telling you what you're about to see.
Right.
So if you're watching this show and then you're surprised by that, I'm like, yeah, you need to wake up a little bit,
Yeah.
because the trailer is telling you that that's what it's going to be. And if you don't want to keep seeing it, well, quit watching it, and the ratings will get so low that people, they'll be forced to make a change.
It's market driven.
Yes.
Well, like one example, sometimes these movies are so old and you see them on TBS or something where they've been edited and you forget because they've cut out a lot of it.
Yes.
One example was National Lampoon's Vacation. I love that movie, but I've watched the TBS version for 40 years. If you watch it, unedited, there's some stuff in there.
Yeah.
And most movies
For
are,
sure.
yeah.
There are some brutal parts of Shawshank that have never been seen by people if they only watched it on TNT
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
TBS. There's some stuff going on in that prison that.
Oh, yeah.
Prison's not a good place to be.
Absolutely.
I'll just say that.
I guess for dramas, I give it more leeway because it's trying to show a dark
Yeah.
period of prison. Saving Private Ryan's incredibly violent, but obviously,
Right.
whatever. Comedies is when it seems like it's gratuitous. Like, did that have to really be in there?
Yeah, I think a lot of times the language it gets really bad. Like old comedies, I think they would have some language in there, but it would somehow add to it. I just think now we're so loose with the language where we don't get creative with what we're saying because you just drop a bunch of F-bombs.
The Comedy Catch, Chattanooga, the song they play when the show's over
Oh yeah.
is "Get the Bleep Out."
Yeah.
And the last time I was there, Danielle came up to me. She's like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about your crowd, Nateland crowd, or whatever."
Oh, yeah.
that we're playing that because it just plays it over and over and over. So it's just kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like if you got a really rowdy crowd, it's like, sure, play that song. But it's like, I'm sure the Nateland crowd, even my audience, which is not all Nateland people,
Right.
they're gonna get out.
Mm-hmm.
We're not lingering trying to steal or whatever. People tell me all over the place how nice my audience is, and it's like ooh, that song is over the top. It's like, yeah, take it easy. My grandmother's in here. She has a walker. Give her a second.
She's 90.
Yeah.
All right. Angeli?
But thank you, Caleb.
Angeli, maybe?
Oh, Angeli Ricafort.
That's a tough name all the way around.
I just want to say thank you to Aaron for recommending the tennis racket Bug Killer. Worked like magic, solved my problem.
There you go. I know all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
You know, if you need some products.
That name is not who I'm expecting to be buying the racket Bug Killer.
Angeli Ricafort.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all got flies. We all got mosquitoes out here.
Yeah. It's the last great.
It's bringing us all together.
It's the last great unifier
Yeah.
in American
Cross-section.
culture. That's right.
Yeah. Aaron Rodriguez. Have you guys seen any cicadas yet, by the way?
No.
Oh,
Are they
yeah.
out and about?
Yesterday when I got home, I saw a lot of cicada
Shells?
exoskeletons around my yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been gone for about a week, and I mean, they were all over the place.
Yeah, they're here now.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodriguez. The airline I work for sets up our baggage carts so that priority tags go to the front of the carts so they can be the first ones off at the claim belt.
Mm.
If Dusty's bags are routinely not at the front, then that is 100% on the ramp workers. Dusty can call the airline, check his app for a survey, or find some way to bring it to the airline's attention. Decisions at the airline are made based on passengers speaking up about things that need to be improved.
All right. I appreciate this, Aaron, because I did complain to the airport about, and not even about that, about various other things, but baggage in Nashville. Nashville is a great airport. I love that airport. It's cool. There's a lot of good food options. There's a lot of good coffee options. There's
Live music everywhere.
music.
It's got real
Really
character.
great. But the baggage is so bad. Like when I land in LA or New York, like very busy airports, by the time I get to my thing, whatever it is, the conveyor belt, my bag's already circulating.
Mm-hmm.
In Nashville, they got rid of the cell phone waiting lot. At least we can't find it.
Yeah.
And then they won't let you hang out there. So my wife is loading up the two kids, coming to pick me up. We try to plan it out. And then I'm just standing there waiting on my bag. And my wife's calling me, where you at? I'm like, I don't know. My bag's not here yet.
You got to just Uber home.
Yeah. I don't know. I hate Ubering. I'd love to go ahead, get in there and see my family
Yeah.
instead of riding with some stranger.
Now you're putting it on them, though.
Get-
She's got to
I
load
know.
everybody up.
But
They
it's just
like
not worth
coming.
the hassle.
They like coming to see me.
Do they, though?
They do.
Okay.
My daughter loves it.
All right.
They love it.
My wife has never picked me up from the airport.
Oh, yeah.
We live 5 minutes from the airport, dude.
Well, my dumb mistake by not planning well cost me. I mean, I was at the airport for 5 days. It was $150.
Wait till you have your kid, though. Lucy will be like, let me put this kid in the car seat and drive around a little bit.
Oh, just to get out of the house, just to
Yeah.
do something?
Yeah, maybe the kid goes to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
J.K. Albano.
JK. It's
Little-
great. I like that.
Yeah.
JK Rowling.
Mm-hmm.
JK Albano.
Little tip from a library science grad student. I'm assuming that's JK. You can check out almost any DVD from your public library, and if your branch doesn't have it, they can usually get it for you.
Wow. Okay.
That's fun.
Go get a little Shawshank. No, what was that? Oh,
Sling Blade.
Yeah.
Sling
Yeah.
Blade.
He says usually
Right.
they may not be able to.
Depends on how good the library is, too,
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
I
But
feel
I-
like JK's a woman.
Potentially.
And I feel like JK could be like, JK.
I didn't go no grad student.
Yeah. Yeah, but for me, the joy of DVD collections was having them
Mm-hmm.
and keeping them.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of these libraries, right back in, JK, because I think a lot of these libraries no longer have late fees for anything.
Oh, yeah.
They've banned late fees because that was disproportionately affecting poorer people that just couldn't bring stuff back. So a lot of these libraries no longer have late fees. So in theory, I could just steal all these DVDs and have a pretty good collection.
I don't agree that they can't get back to the library.
Yeah, I don't understand the reasoning there.
You got there.
Well, they banned late fees because they would compound, and then they would go, oh, now I'm definitely not bringing it in. If it's going to cost me $50 when I bring it back.
Well, I think it should only go to the value of the DVD.
Well, that's an interesting theory.
You know what I mean?
I would love a library scientist to write in and give us their thoughts.
Yeah, it's like the late fee goes until it cost what it cost the place to get that, and then they go, just buy it. Just pay us for the DVD and you can have it.
Yeah, right. 2017, the Nashville Public Library made a revolutionary change to its services. It abolished all overdue fines.
Yeah, revolutionary. Hey, stuff's free in here now. Check it out, and then you don't got to bring it back. This is a revolutionary idea. We'll let you borrow something, and you don't have to bring it back.
But this right here is saying they did some studies, and they said the fees discourage people from using the library at all. So the whole purpose of the library is people to come check out books, you know.
I think what it discourages is people learning to be able to return things on time. Who did the study? They always say they did a study.
I never thought you'd be arguing for more money to go to the government.
I'm just saying, though.
Yeah.
It's like, what is the study here? We ask some people, hey, what's keeping you from coming to the library? The late fees. Oh, is it? Is it? That's what it is. The late fee.
Is it that, or you don't like to read?
Yeah. I mean, I don't go to the library, but it's not the late fees. It's the book.
Dusty's not a book guy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not for fines and fees, but I am for, like, if you borrow something, return it.
Right, well, you can still do that. You just won't be penalized monetarily.
Yeah.
It does say you'll be charged for lost material, so.
Okay. All right. I like that.
Yeah.
If you don't bring it back, you still get charged.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I'm into it.
Yeah. Jacob Klutz.
I do want to. I just am for a society, like a trust society, where it's like, if I let you borrow this,
No, you're not.
you bring it back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm into.
Sure.
And you say, hey, I'm going to let you borrow this, but will you bring it back on Friday? And then you go, yeah, I'll bring it back on Friday. And then you do bring it back.
But let's say something happens. Maybe you're in a car accident on Friday, and then you have to bring it in on Saturday. You shouldn't be penalized for that, right?
Well, that's true.
You know, so let's just get rid of late fees altogether.
But,
get rid of all laws.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we're talking, right?
Yeah. Well, some laws, yeah.
Martial law.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jacob Klutz. Hello, folks. Dusty. Oh, here goes my voice.
Sorry, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
Woo. Dusty could do a special filmed with a trailer park background with the front porch bug zapper right there on stage. Kill 2 bugs with 1 stone.
That is true. You know, I always wanted to do a trailer park themed special, but now I don't really do trailer park jokes.
Do you remember one of your and Nate's first reactions on that live stream? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I've chose to forget about it.
Okay.
But
All
yeah,
right. Well, we don't have to. I'll move on.
it's very upsetting to me. So I chose to block it.
We've
out
all
of my
moved
mind.
on. We're
Yeah,
friends
I
now.
chose to
Everybody's
block it out
friends.
of
All
my
right.
mind.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I thought it was funny.
I'll tell you what gets me upset
It is funny.
is when people don't play DraftKings. All right, that was the worst segue ever.
Yeah, that was all right. You've had
I'm
worse.
sorry.
That wasn't bad.
You've had way worse.
You're right, I have.
Yeah. What about DraftKings though?
Have you guys ever played like the over-under game where like, hey, how many Krispy Kreme donuts can I eat in a certain amount of time?
I do it all the time.
Dusty's on his phone.
That's
all
all
right.
What?
You ever played like a game like what was that?
I thought you were doing an ad.
You know he is. You know about the concept of over-unders, right? Over-under.
Not really.
Well, you know, like I bet you play with your
Over-under 2 cups of water you're going to drink throughout
with
this
your drinking buddies. Do you ever play like, hey, how many? I don't know. Whatever it is y'all did. I don't know your terminology, but how many lines could I do right here? I don't know.
You lied. Oh my God.
I don't know what you were doing back then.
Depends on what we're doing. You know
All
what I
right.
mean?
Well, with me, it was usually like slice of pizza or
Yeah.
something
Okay.
simple like that. But anyway,
I'm so confused about what's going on.
like, could you eat a slice of pizza in under 30 seconds?
Okay.
Yeah. There
Like
you go.
something like
That's the
that.
over under is 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Over under 30 seconds.
So if I can't do it, it's over.
Well, yeah. We usually have some sort of stakes. Something's on the line.
Yeah. I'll bet you
Usually.
$5 that I could eat this under 30 seconds. And if,
Okay.
and if
Mhm.
someone says, I don't think you can, that's the bet.
Right.
So if you can't do it, I get $10.
No.
Oh, how am I making money off this bet?
Just a $5 bet.
If
You
if-
give me 5 if you're right, or if you're wrong, and I give you 5 if you're right.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
all
straight
right.
up.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
That really has nothing to do with what I'm about to say, but
That's good. Before the DraftKings ad, let's explain the concept of gambling.
I'm
I
glad
should have.
got off
explained.
my phone.
I know I should not have brought you into
That's
this.
all right. Dusty was the worst category.
That's my mistake. All right.
Yeah.
Well, if you
Okay.
have played this, like Aaron and I, then you're going to love Pick Six, the new fantasy game from DraftKings. There goes my voice again.
Mhm.
Official partner of the NBA. Here's how to play during the NBA playoffs.
Tell us how.
All right. Pick between 2 and 6 players and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat: rebounds, points, assists, and more. Track your picks and play against others for a shot to win huge cash prizes. And this is the part we're supposed to ad lib.
Okay.
It says, discuss your experiences with Pick Six or recent pick and why you like them.
Yeah. Have you been following the NBA playoffs?
I
This year?
have actually. And you talked about a couple of weeks ago about how that was a prop bet, how first guy who scores.
Right. That's my favorite one to do.
But this is essentially what this is. Pick Six is just something like that, an over under. We watched this weekend the Denver and Minnesota.
Great game.
Anthony, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Ant.
Yeah, it's Ant.
Baby Davis. Is it Davis? Anthony Davis?
What? Did you say Baby Davis?
Anthony Baby Davis. Isn't that what they call him?
Big Baby?
Big Baby Davis?
That was the guy 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
About Glenn Davis.
How about the guy in the Celtics for 20 years?
Listen, I only got room for a certain amount of names in my head.
All right, so you can bet over or under that the Joker will have this many rebounds,
Right.
points, assists, and more. things
Oster
like that.
tag will have a few points.
There you go. All right. Yeah. So
Another
download the
player.
new DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code Nateland for a shot at huge cash prizes. That's code Nateland only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 and over in most eligible states. Age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Pick 6 not available in all states, including but not limited to Connecticut and New York. For up-to-date list of states, visit dkng.co/pick6states. Void where prohibited. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
This is the only time DraftKings drops somebody. As a
Yeah, I'm sorry. You talking about Baby Davis? Baby Davis.
I thought that's what they call him.
Glenn Big Baby Davis?
Anthony Davis.
Talking about Anthony Davis on the Lakers with the unibrow?
Yeah.
I don't think they call him. Well, Anthony Davis baby mom came up. That's probably not what we're looking. It's probably not what we're looking for. But I've never heard him called baby.
I haven't
Okay.
either.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a guy, Big Baby Davis.
There's Big Baby Glenn, Big Baby Davis.
Played at LSU,
Well, that's probably who I'm talking about.
but that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
All right.
Last time I watched a basketball game. I was 11. I was forced to by my dad. No, I'd have been 21. Yeah, I was at a bar, I guess. How old am I? Okay.
Oh,
It is.
Worlds apart. Honestly, very happy to hear that Aaron saw an opportunity to go outside and toss a baseball around with a friend.
wow.
The dad who gave them the weird look is the one who should be embarrassed.
I agree.
The world would probably be a better place if adults remembered how fun it is just to toss or kick a ball around every once in a while.
I've never agreed with a comment so much. So is that
So
right?
much.
So much. I like this. This is good. I mean, that's what I said that day. It's like, it's ridiculous. You two guys out there throwing a ball around. You know, it's like, what do you want? What do you want people to be doing?
I don't think it was about us throwing a ball around. I think it was that these kids were warming up for their games and we threw a ball into their personal space.
But I just think that shows how I hear more and more people talking about this, how youth sports is like out of control now, so expensive. It's being taken so seriously. And I think that's just it. Like, that dad needs to relax. Let those kids have a little fun. Let you have a little fun.
I agree.
He's too stressed about it.
How old were these kids?
9 or 10, probably.
Yeah, because I go to my daughter to the park, and some of these really small, like soccer youth groups, they're just trying so hard to corral these kids.
Right.
That one extra thing can really set you off.
If you had hit a line drive into their thing and it barely missed a kid, I get it.
And they look over and we're ripping cigarettes on the field or whatever, and they're like, "Come on, dude."
Exactly.
No,
but you just throwing a ball around and it happened to go. Yeah, they got to relax.
Now, if you didn't have a field, would it ever motivated you to get your glove out and throw?
No,
funny
you're
how
just
that
staying
works.
right next to a baseball field. Let's walk over here and throw the ball around.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, worlds apart.
I like the smell of a baseball field. I can feel like I can remember how it smells. You smell the chalk out there and just how it all. And I like the
A
smell.
little waft of a trash can that needs to be, taken out.
My mom played a lot of softball, and I used to be out there all the time. I played a little league baseball myself.
Dixie Youth, probably.
Dixie Youth, yeah. And it was fun.
Yeah, the smells can take you back, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You ever walk into your old high school years after?
Yeah.
And you just smell, you're like, God, it just smells like this high school. It's crazy.
Yeah.
No. Mine's been demolished.
After the schools were integrated?
It's a historical site now. That's funny. Thomas, what do you think? Altillo?
Altillo. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I was hoping to hear Dusty's experience with the eclipse, and it did not disappoint. Thinking something was wrong with the sun, he just runs outside, kind of covers his eyes, and his wife doesn't at all. After thinking, glad that it didn't fall out of the sky, he goes back to stacking rocks. In 2024, you experience an eclipse the same way you could have in 8000 BC.
Yeah, absolutely.
You think the world's been around that long? Okay. You said absolutely, so apparently
8,000 is
Mr.
okay.
Evolution over here.
No, I'm okay with an 8,000. It's like, I don't think any of us know exactly. My problem is when they go, the world's 800 trillion years old, and it's like, you don't even know what that is.
Not 800 trillion.
What's the difference in really, though?
13 billion.
Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, I get it that 800 trillion is a lot older than 13 billion, but 13 billion is so long. No one has any idea. Any scientist that comes out and goes, yeah, that's what it is. It's like, all right, you're not a good scientist. Get out of the room.
What room is this?
Whatever room they're in.
This is a press conference.
Yeah, it's like, you're out.
Get
dude.
out of
You're
the room,
out,
buddy.
You're not bringing anything real to this conversation. Making up things. Why'd you go write a Marvel movie? Okay.
Jackson Creek. Regarding Aaron's barefoot man sighting at the Omaha Zoo, when me and my brothers were younger, my parents took us to the zoo in Omaha. My little brother and dad took a ride on the safari, and my little brother knocked my dad's sandal into the rhino pit. This was within 15 minutes of arriving at the zoo, so my dad was also a barefoot man at the Omaha Zoo that day.
Oh,
That's interesting. We saw that. I didn't know it was called the Skyfari, but I like that. It's like a ski lift that goes across the whole zoo. It wasn't operational when we were there, but maybe that's what happened.
Maybe
he lost a sandal somewhere.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to walk around with one.
Well, that's what, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll try to have a little more empathy when I
Yeah.
see people like that,
Please do.
I've blown out flip-flops before. And you got to lose them both. I walk heavy on one foot, especially when I was drinking. I
Which
feel like,
one? Would you really walk heavier on one foot than the other?
Well, I've blown out a few flip-flops, and it's always the same foot. But it's been a long time since I
Your
wore
left foot?
flip-flops, but I think it is the left foot.
Wow. And you're left-handed,
I'm
right?
left-handed, yeah.
Well, that's your dominant
I
foot.
was in Savannah, Georgia. I made a big day of drinking.
That cobblestone will get you, dude.
We were eating some crawfish, and I just blew out a flip-flop out there.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say blowout, you mean it just tore it apart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Popped out.
What
Like
else?
Jimmy Buffett.
What else could he mean?
Well, just no other shoe you say blowout. I guess just because the Jimmy Buffett song, that's just how you describe a flip-flop not working.
Blew out a
Okay.
flip-flop. Stepped on a pop top.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Cut my heel. Had to cruise on back home.
Yeah.
With his blues in the blender. Was it blues? Booze.
Booze
I
and
always
blues.
said blues, though, because I just thought it was like, kind of a musical reference. But I think he does say booze in the blender.
hmm Adam Copeland recently discovered the podcast and have watched about 25 in the past week.
Wow.
It's been great, but the only problem I have is I started to speak like Dusty Slay in day-to-day life.
All right.
Even my internal monologue now sounds like Dusty. My wife is worried, but me, I'm having a great time.
All right. Well,
Good time.
having a good time. But I'm okay with great time. You know what? It's a good way to live, Adam. I mean, keep that going. I mean, the thing about this is how I live. Be skeptical of everything,
Right.
but also be having a good time. Because it don't matter. None of it matters. We're just out here living our lives. Just floating around, living our lives. If the bags get clogged up, just jump up there and unclog it.
Right.
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 If the lady comes over and yells at you, she won't, because nobody cares about their jobs out here.
Right.
She ain't gonna yell at you.
Brian, what would you have done in that situation?
I would have just waited patiently.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I did too.
Last 2 times I've been at the airport, I've unclogged it. I mean,
I wouldn't even been the person who spoke up to ask her.
You would have stood in the back and just go, oh boy.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I assume that's what the majority of people did.
Yeah.
Just-
And more people just stood there and didn't do a thing.
I understand, obviously, like we've said already, why a person couldn't jump up there for legal reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I even understand if that's not her job, she could get in trouble, I guess. But it sounds like she had no empathy or was like, let me see what I can
She
do. I'm
could
so
not
sorry.
have cared less.
That's the part I have a problem with.
Mhm.
Like,
this is what you do. They come over and they go, you're not allowed to jump up on there like that. And I go, oh, that wasn't me.
you gaslight her.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
And they go, sir, you're the only guy that looks like you here. And you go,
Yeah.
But you're like, but I didn't jump up
Nah,
on
it
there,
wasn't
though,
me
so
at
I don't
all.
know what you saw.
Don't you check the footage?
Yeah. I'm glad it's unclogged, but I don't know who did it.
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
Whoever did it's a great guy, but
Yeah.
I didn't touch it.
Yeah.
Matt McCann, how difficult is it or how often do you have to adjust your personality for different radio hosts, podcasts, etc.?
I don't think that I ever adjust it, but it is like, you like Aaron that one day. Now I try to not be as bad as that, but it's like when I start talking to the radio host, I'm already like in gear. I'm geared up, and then when they do the thing that he thought they were going to do, when we're going to record now, then you go, all right, we're having a good time. And then I try to get into a real joke mode.
Yeah.
But for the most part, there's no adjustment. I just am who I am. If I find it's going to be, if we're talking for an hour versus 5 minutes, then I tone it down.
Yeah.
An hour, we're having a conversation. 5 minutes, I'm trying to get as many laughs.
Yeah,
as I
I'm being
can.
real punchy and
Yeah.
getting some jokes in there. I guess
about
I'm
you
the
guys?
same way.
Yeah, same way. I mean, I'm not doing as many as you are, but I mean,
We did press in Tulsa. I brought Zach Townsend was with me this weekend. So I brought him to radio. We did this talk show. And right when we got there, they were like, coming in after you, somebody from the Tulsa Zoo, they got a new bug exhibit that they want to talk about. So Zach hears that and he thinks, all right, well, all I'm talking about is bugs on this interview. So we sit down and they're talking to me and then they go, Zach, you excited to be here in Tulsa? And he goes, oh yeah, I heard there's a new bug exhibit at the zoo. I'll be honest, that's the only reason I'm here. I just want to see those bugs.
Oh, yeah.
And the host was nice. She's like, oh, you're like really into bugs? He's like, I'm obsessed with bugs. She goes, well, so tell me a little bit about the show. He's like, well, I mostly talk about bugs on stage.
I love it.
He's like, I have a lot of props, a lot of bug jokes. And then she goes, well, who are some of your favorite comics? He's like, I love Bug Stanhope.
That's great. Do you
This
have
is
that?
all going over her head, but
Yeah.
I'm dying over there, dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
He just kept talking about bugs. It was so funny.
Bug stand up.
There's no video of that interview, but there's audio of it somewhere. I mean, that was
Yeah.
on the radio. Just this guy talking about bugs. To the point where I had to be like, if you are listening, it's not just bug stuff at my show tonight. It's
Yeah.
like a normal show, But yeah, it's fun. find a way to have fun with it like that. Died off quick. I looked up. Y'all weren't even looking at me anymore.
No, I'm sorry. I was looking at. I apologize for my.
That's okay.
Your voice is doing fine.
That's okay.
Well, it's in and out. It's in and out.
Hashtag dump
You should
Brian.
smoke more.
You should, dude. Build up a little tolerance.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Air's bogging you down.
Let me.
I got 2 more.
I know.
You skipping them?
Yeah. Why don't we save those for another time and because we'll get into it. Let me tell you guys. Oh, I've already done my ad read. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all over the place here. Aaron, why don't you tell us about Rocket Money?
Well, did you know? I know. But did you know that 75% of people have subscriptions they've forgotten about? You know, I've been one of those guys. You sign up for something for the free trial, then you forget. Next thing you know, you're paying them money for years. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. There's a dashboard on there, shows your month's spending compared to last month. You can see your spending habits. Plus, it'll help you create a custom budget and keep your spending on track. Rocket Money has helped over 5 million users, has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. So stop wasting money on things you do not use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Nate. That's rocketmoney.com/Nate. One more time, rocketmoney.com/Nate.
You are by far the best ad reader.
Hey, dude.
Well, let's take it easy. I mean, he does a pretty good job, but I'm here too, you know.
You do a good job.
Yeah, you are here.
Yeah.
Dang, guys.
Just kidding.
So
I mean,
Just
look
kidding.
how much Brian's ad made us laugh, though. That's an entertaining ad read.
That is true.
yeah.
I think
Have I gotten so good that it's boring now?
well, I think sometimes, you know, they want like such a good ad read, but I'm like, I think it's more important to create the kind of ad read that the podcast listener goes, well, I don't want to listen to the ad. I could just go skip, but there might be some jokes in here. There might be some fun stuff.
I don't disagree with you. It's a little hurtful. You found a way to spin that into I'm somehow the worst part of the podcast. Brian's like, you're the best. Well, actually,
You're the worst.
what you're
No.
doing is detrimental.
You are
Yeah.
very good at it, though. I've seen a couple of comments recently on your data thing,
Mhm.
and I think that's great. I love when
People
you do
don't
that.
like it.
Some people don't like it, and I'm like, relax.
I'm just
It's-
trying to,
it's-
people say it differently. I'm trying to.
You said 2 words, and it took you an extra 2 seconds. And this guy's like, does anybody else find this annoying? But he goes data, and it's like it took you longer to write this comment than who else? Is there anybody else out there? Because I just know that I'm sitting at home and I'm watching this, and I'm going, stop saying 2 words.
Some guy screaming at a YouTube video is funny to think about. It's data.
Is it just me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Might just be you.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of people, not a lot, some say, Brian, why don't you just insert the ads? You're always derailing the conversation.
Mhm.
First of all, I don't make those decisions.
Right.
I do what I'm told. But I think a lot of people like the live ad reads because it brings some fun moments.
Right.
Just like
Right.
you said.
Yeah.
Unless Mr. Robot's reading over here. Let me tell you about Rocket Money.
Oh, dang, dude. Oh, man.
Now you do a great job. You
Brian's-
are the best ad reader.
Brian's on high tea today, dude.
You are the best ad reader.
Oh, well,
That is
thank
true.
you. Thank you. That's
got
all
it.
I got.
Yeah.
So I
You have a
appreciate
great
it.
voice.
Thank you.
Actually, you know what?
You want to read that last one?
I just want to read the last one since we talked about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is from Dan Kroll. I'm convinced that Aaron is the voice actor for Brian the dog on Family Guy.
Oh, Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah. And this week's podcast is about
Look at that.
Cartoons.
Cartoons. What a
Boom.
segue, dude.
Yeah.
Bow, bow. I should be doing the segues up in here.
Well, I did put that last for that reason, but then I'm also the one that bailed on it because we were getting behind. But
yeah, you
Okay.
did do it.
Yeah.
Deep down, you are controlling the whole podcast.
I
And
am.
everybody knows it.
I am.
Everybody knows it.
Now, Pace Magazine, they better know it. Pace Magazine last week put out a list of the 30 greatest cartoons of all time, 50 greatest cartoons of all time.
Oh.
So I don't know how you guys want to 50. Okay. I don't know how you guys want to start this, but I don't know if we just want to deep dive into this or
Well, I like the idea. I think maybe we should do our own list first,
Okay.
and then see where they rank up.
Yeah.
Here. Now,
Dusty pointed out that we're 3 different generations. I don't know if that's like 10 years probably isn't a generation, but we got
But enough that our cartoons are different.
Well, us three in particular, right? Like you're what,
32?
31?
32, yeah.
All right, I'm 42 this year.
Wow.
next week, right?
Yeah, the 18th of May.
52, 32, 42.
Right, so we're just
Sorry. Yeah, this is perfect. This
Cave
is perfect.
drawings.
So even though these are not just separate generations, that's enough that we all watched different shows growing up. But when did you guys watch cartoons? Was it Saturday morning cartoons? Like, how did you consume these things as children?
well, Saturday mornings was a big deal.
Yeah.
But also there was Nickelodeon for me, which was big. And as a kid, and I don't know where some of these were at. I'm gonna go. This is the 10, and I'm just gonna rattle them off.
Well,
See,
can I answer his question
Sure.
before you just take over
I just
the
want to set
podcast?
the stage first. Yeah.
Hold your thoughts. I watched Saturday mornings,
Yeah.
and I did not have even Nickelodeon. I just had 3 channels.
ABC, CBS,
and NBC.
NBC.
And Fox didn't exist, but there was a 4th channel that
UPN.
The WB.
no, it was like it was Fox before Fox.
WB was big back then.
You think it was just CBS, ABC, NBC, and the WB?
Listen, I feel like I used to watch the WB a lot.
I don't think the WB was even a thing,
I mean,
but I would watch some of these in syndication. Like
this youngster's coming in here
Yeah, I know.
trashing the WB. You grew up in a different WB.
My
than I did.
only TV credit is the CW, so I'm not trashing. I'm not trashing the WB, its predecessor.
anyway, some of these I watched like in syndication, like afternoons after school or whatever.
Right.
But most of these are Saturday morning. All right. I just wanted to answer your
Mhm.
question. Go ahead,
But
Dustin.
would you sit in front of the TV, bowl of cereal, like?
Oh yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that was the way
Oh
to do
yeah.
it.
I mean, there was no way to queue up anything, right? Like now, like I had, VHS. I had Looney Tunes on a
Mhm.
VHS tape, but it was like other than that, there was no way to queue up a cartoon.
Yeah.
You just had to watch what was coming on.
Were you taping stuff? Were y'all taping stuff from the TV?
Yeah, a lot of times.
We didn't have VCRs when I was
Uh-huh.
really small.
My mom worked at a plant that made VHS tapes.
So that's what y'all were doing that a lot.
Yeah, we had the hookup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you watch? What were your go-tos?
Well, maybe we should start. I'm the middle, so maybe we start with Brian
All right.
Okay.
What are we doing?
and then work our way down. Just give us our
Your favorite cartoons.
your
I want to
list.
hear what it is. I want to hear what the plot is. I want to
Because
hear why you like it.
You gave us kind of 2 categories, all time and children.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I did was kind of what I watched as a kid, and then what I watched as an adult.
All right. Well,
But-
as a kid, here's 5. Number 1, Looney Tunes. Now, generally, what I would say is Bugs Bunny because
Yeah,
he was the star, but that also is
Daffy Duck too.
Daffy Duck,
Mhm.
the Roadrunner, Coyote. All those are under
Yosemite Sam too. Was he one
Yosemite
of
Sam.
Well, he was
Porky
always
Pig.
in a Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck. He was the bad guy
them? Like Elmer Fudd was the bad guy, right?
with both of those too. Yeah,
Yosemite Sam was trying to kill
I
Bugs
think so,
Bunny as
right?
well.
Yosemite Sam
Yeah.
was maybe in Daffy Duck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, had the guns, and
So all these Looney Tunes were just an animal and then somebody trying to kill it.
Yeah,
there was a lot of that.
Oh yeah, because the Roadrunner too. Was that Looney Tunes?
yeah.
And that was
Okay.
the
And
Coyote
it was
was trying
trying
to
to
kill
trying to kill the
It's
Roadrunner.
they're actually pretty violent.
mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
I like them, but they are like it is constantly hitting something over the head with a pan or a rock or shooting them
But
with
it's
a
a
gun.
cartoon. Who cares? You can do whatever in a cartoon.
Sylvester and Tweety Bird. He's trying to eat Tweety Bird.
There it is. That's-
Tom and Jerry, the cat's trying to eat the mouse.
Tom and Jerry was Looney Tunes too?
I don't
No,
know. It's somewhere in
Okay.
that world.
Was that a separate?
I think that was Hanna-Barbera.
Oh.
But it still is the a lot of classical music with a cartoon.
Not a
So
lot of
it's-
words.
Yeah, so still those same vibe.
Now, I didn't know this till I looked it up. Looney Tunes had been around since like the 30s or 40s when they
Mhm.
first started. And some of those, maybe not that old, but as far back as the 60s, they would re-air when I was a kid. There were some references that I obviously didn't get. They had some Humphrey Bogart and different characters.
Yeah.
There's some really Asian stereotypes in some of these.
It's a lot.
There's a lot that age.
You get too far back
pretty
in Looney
badly.
Tunes, you're like,
You're like,
guys.
come on, dude.
Yeah.
I bet even at the time you're like, ugh.
Well, if you watch it now, for sure.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, you weren't thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I love Bugs Bunny. I thought he was so funny, and
Me personally, when I watch Bugs Bunny now, I think he's, kind of a prick. You know what I mean? When you watch him now, you're like, well, you're kind of a jerk out here,
Well,
guys.
the guy's trying to kill him the whole.
I guess you're right about
you
that.
can get a few quips in if you're being shot.
I
at.
actually feel sorry for Elmer Fudd when I watch him.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I just do. He's just such a pitiful guy.
or Daffy Duck, so you should feel sorry for because he'll trick Elmer Fudd into shooting Daffy's face off.
Yeah.
Is Elmer Fudd a kid, or is he supposed to be
No,
a
he's a-
full blown adult?
It's supposed to be me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
He's a guy in his 50s with, I don't know. But I love Bugs Bunny because the Roadrunner and Coyote, not really into that so much. I think a lot of people felt this way. They kind of rooted for the Coyote because you started feeling sorry for him, and there was no dialogue.
Right.
You know these cartoons, right?
Sure.
And obviously, with Porky Pig, it would end. With,
That's all, folks.
that's all, folks. So
Bleep, 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 bleep. Today, Junior.
numerous people have suggested
Remember
that's
that?
how we end our podcast with "That's all, folks." And
That's where it comes from.
my T-shirt is me like Porky Pig.
Coming out at
Busting
the end.
out
yeah.
there.
All right.
So-
Now there'll be new merch with you as Elmer Fudd.
Yeah.
That'll be coming
And
soon.
Nate as Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
I'll go faster on these.
Okay.
Now, are you showing this stuff to your daughter yet?
No,
You don't think that they're too young?
she just
still?
has her own cartoons that are much more age appropriate. I mean, someday
Okay.
maybe, but
I've
Yeah.
tried to show Daisy some of these. She ain't into it.
Really.
Yeah.
What is it? The animation? You think it just looks so bad compared to modern animation?
Yeah. I'll
don't
try
think
to put
it's that.
some on. Like I'll be on YouTube and I'll try to put. She go, no, not this, not this. But it is the older she get, the more I'm like, oh, this is really violent though.
Mhm.
I really try to keep Daisy away from seeing violent stuff.
Even if it's animals in a cartoon,
Yeah.
that's probably good.
She's
Mhm.
so sweet. She doesn't want to hit anybody. She's so sweet with her little brother, and I just want to keep it that way.
I'm going to show my daughter Saving Private Ryan when she's
Yeah.
6 months old.
Yeah.
Just the first 10 minutes on
Yeah.
repeat.
yeah. My daughter watches Peppa Pig, Bluey. We've covered this.
Yeah.
A lot of adults love Bluey. It's like one of their favorite shows for adults.
That's weird.
All right. Yeah. Well, Drew Harrison is a big Bluey fan. He says it's a good cartoon.
It is good.
Have you watched it?
No.
He says it's good.
Is it like Blue's Clues? It's like one of those?
No, it's like
Yeah.
a cartoon dog family,
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch it if I didn't have kids, but it's
Okay.
something I can enjoy
Okay.
while she watches it.
Oh, okay.
Drew does watch it without kids.
I mean, I think
Interesting.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
Drew's into it.
All right, I'll go a little faster
But-
here.
I don't care. Yeah. I'm not around.
Yeah. I mean, he says he can't wait for my daughter to finally be into Bluey because she's not into it so that me and him can talk about Bluey. And I mean, I'm into it.
My daughter's not into it as much. She's more Peppa Pig
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget.
Oh, man, I forgot Inspector Gadget. I used to love, I'm adding that to number 3 for me.
I love my Lectric e-bike. If you're like me and you love the idea of riding a bike, but not the reality of it, not the pedaling and the exhaustion, this is the bike for you. The Lectric e-bike, using pedal assist or just using the throttle, you can cruise around on this thing and experience the freedom and the joy that, let's be honest, you haven't experienced since your childhood. This is what you need. This thing will go super fast. And I weigh more than I thought it could handle. I'll be honest, when I got this bike, I thought there's no way it's going to be flying around with me on it. It doesn't even care that I'm on it. This thing is powerful, dude.
Go full throttle into spring with Lectric e-bikes, the #1 selling e-bikes in the nation. Get your adventure started at lectricebikes.com and mention that the Nateland Podcast sent you there. That's LECTRIC ebikes.com. And remember to always wear a helmet.
All
Okay.
right. Smurfs. Smurfs were big right when I was the age to really be into cartoons.
I liked Smurfs. It wouldn't make my top 10, but I did like that one.
Super Friends. That was superheroes that.
Never heard of that.
I remember that a little bit.
What is Super Friends?
It was.
Probably like Avengers.
Yeah, I think this was DC though. I think this was Superman.
Is this what combined the rings? Is that the Super Friends?
No, that's Captain Planet though. That's a good one too.
Oh man,
Dang, I used to watch
I forgot
that
about
one.
that.
I used to watch that
What
one
is
a
that?
lot.
is that the guys?
Captain Planet, he's our hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero.
Oh, it was all about global warming and
Yeah.
stuff.
I don't think we're talking about the same thing. You're talking about the Wonder Twins.
I have no idea. This is all before my
Captain
time.
Planet.
Super Friends cartoon.
They all had rings.
Oh, this is literally Superman and his friends.
Yeah, it's like what's the movie? With Batman and Superman, they all combined. What is
Batman
Justice
versus Superman.
Justice League.
Justice League.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's kind of that.
What was the one now that I got to think about that Wonder Twins activate or whatever when they
Something like that. Yeah, where the rings would touch and it would go.
Yeah, but see, with this one, they had 5 rings. It was earth, wind, water,
Fire.
animals, fire. Yeah. And then they would all combine, and that's when Captain Planet would come out. Like some people would be bulldozing a forest, and they would bring their rings together, and Captain Planet would come out and, I don't know, stop it.
And then they would go, but we need wood to live.
Yeah.
And then they wouldn't listen to him.
And it was probably brainwashing to try to get me into global warming and stuff, but I escaped it. I was like, I still hate pollution, and I'm down to keep pollution down.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Yeah, I haven't heard any of those.
I'm not
that
buying
you
into the
mentioned.
propaganda though.
And then Speed Racer,
Speed
Oh, yeah, I
Racer.
never watched that.
which someone just told me recently their parents would not let them watch that.
Why?
I think they thought it was too violent.
Isn't it just driving around in a car? Or do they do they ever get out of the car?
Yeah, I mean it's Japanese animation, so it was it's a little bit different.
Mhm.
But I don't remember watching that Saturday morning. I remember watching that like in the afternoon or something.
After school.
I feel like I watched a little bit of that, but I was never into that. All right, let me
So
hit
those-
you.
yeah, go ahead.
Let me hit you with my kids' ones. I'm gonna go real quick. WWF Superstars. That was a cartoon Saturday
Yeah.
morning. They had Andre the Giant,
Yep.
Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan, all
Yeah.
that. That was a good one. The Batman cartoon. That was when I was a little more of a teenager. Forget it had an actual name, Gotham City or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Really great cartoon though.
Okay.
More serious. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Chip and Dale. Danger. That was a good one.
What would they do?
They just, they were, I don't know.
Solve crimes.
It's like
Yeah.
This is like Magnum PI.
Yeah, they had those that outfit. On,
Okay.
yeah. They would solve crimes or whatever. And then I had Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. Here's one: Heathcliff the cat. It's spelled like Heathcliff, but we always called it Heathcliff. So I don't know if. Yeah, that was a fun one. I was always into that.
This looks like a Walmart brand Garfield.
Yeah, a little bit. Like he was living in the trash can or whatever.
Oh, he's like a stray cat.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, I like this.
He's got a little more edge to him than
Yeah.
Garfield.
Exactly. I like that show a lot. This one, I kind of watched it, and it's still on today, but I was more into it as a kid, and that's The Simpsons. I'm not been into The Simpsons so much as an adult, but when I was a kid, I loved The Simpsons. Then there was Bobby's World.
Never
Bobby's
heard of it.
World was Howie Mandel's show when I was a kid. Great Saturday morning cartoon. Doug.
Wow.
Doug was really
It's
good.
the first overlap on my
Yeah.
list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doug, I was becoming a little bit more of a teenager watching Doug.
What's
but
Doug? I don't know what that is.
So Doug, there were 2 iterations of it. It was originally a Nickelodeon cartoon.
That's
Okay.
where I remember it as a Nickelodeon.
And
cartoon.
then from like early 90s. And then 2 years later, Disney, I guess, bought the rights and re-released it as a Disney cartoon.
All right.
The animation's a little different. I like the Nickelodeon version better.
Yeah, it's really good.
But it's just this dorky kid just trying to live life, man. And everybody's
Yeah.
a different color. People are blue. His best friend Skeeter down there, he just honks. He
Yeah.
barely even talks.
All right.
And that's the love of his life right there, Patty Mayonnaise.
Wow, that's a
Yeah,
nice
some of these
name.
names are insane.
Yeah.
I'm realizing.
Doug Funny is his name.
Doug Funny.
All right.
And that's the bully over on the right, Roger Klotz. And he lives in a trailer park. So he's a bully, but really he's just dealing with his own stuff.
Yeah, his
you know?
dad's probably an alcoholic, drug addict.
I think he is at
Yeah.
one point. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Then we go Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay. That's Nate's
Is this
favorite.
too edgy?
No. Too edgy. What do you?
I was like, okay.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No. You looked at her when I said about his trailer
Well,
park
no,
guy.
I'm just surprised it's a kid's cartoon that they're dealing with
Oh,
drugs.
we
and
used to get into stuff in these
Yeah.
cartoons, man.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first cartoon, really great. I had all the toys. I had a toy like whole sewer system, Master Splinter, really great. And I added last minute Inspector Gadget. That was one of my favorites. I mean, he talked to his watch. He had his little helper Penny. It was really, really good. And then my top two, Masters of the Universe, He-Man and Masters of the Universe. Such a hot cartoon when I was a kid.
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
You had a joke about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is this main guy? That's He-Man?
That's
the main?
Adam.
Okay.
And Adam has a sword, and he will hold it up to the sky, and he says, "By the power of Grayskull," and then he becomes He-Man, Master of the
Sounds
Universe.
satanic, but
Interesting.
whatever.
Well, my mom was not watching things like that, like I was,
Yeah.
so I was into it, and it's really great. And then they made a movie. The movie doesn't get a lot of credit, but it's Dolph Lundgren is in it as He-Man.
Is it a live action movie?
Live action.
Okay.
I think it's really good. It's got Courtney Cox, one of her first movies.
Wow.
She's in He-Man, Masters of the Universe. And then my number one favorite cartoon of all time as a kid, G.I. Joe.
Wow.
That was the
G.I.
best.
Joe cartoon.
That I had a million G.I.
This is
Joe.
it right here?
Yeah.
Like that's what it looked like?
I had a million G.I. Joes as a kid. And I loved G.I. Joe.
Now, have y'all gone back and watched any of this stuff as an adult and see how it's aged?
Yeah, it's all terrible.
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, I mean, G.I. Joe is just like, I don't know. It's just not fun to watch. Master of the Universe is pretty ridiculous. Inspector Gadget, I've not watched.
Uh-huh.
I haven't either.
I'm sure some of it's good.
But I mean, this didn't make my list, but other classic cartoons like the Flintstones, Scooby Doo.
Oh,
Right.
Flintstones.
Right.
Yeah. Scooby Doo. I used to watch those a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
And
great.
I remember when
Cartoons used to be really good. They just are not a lot of good cartoons now.
well, I wouldn't no. I mean, the ones for our daughters are, I would say, really good, right?
Nah.
You know,
Peppa Pig is not holding up like
but that's for 2-year-olds.
okay. Well, I guess so. But I'm just saying, I don't know what the cartoons are at now, but they don't have a Scooby Doo.
Yeah, it's a it's a different vibe. But even Scooby, I remember when they added Scrappy Doo.
Yeah.
What a
That's when-
scrappy dude.
That's when they jumped the
Scrappy.
shark. It's like a puppy that they were.
That's when the show about a talking dog jumped the shark.
well, Scooby didn't really talk.
He
just-
talked. Yeah, I mean Shaggy talked to him, but
Yeah.
maybe Shaggy was just high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Scrappy's like a full-on, like, it's like, all right, dude, don't come up in here and you take control of the show.
I've never
Yeah,
even
I
heard of
agree.
Scrappy Doo.
Yeah, it was in the later years, and that's like
And the Harlem Globetrotters showed up. That was a fun episode.
Oh yeah,
The Harlem Globetrotters came to an open mic in Nashville once.
Oh, yeah?
Have you ever heard about that?
No.
Their trainer is an open mic comic, a young woman, and they were in town doing something, and she came and did the mic, and the Harlem Globetrotters showed up.
Wow.
And you're not profiling people when you see like 9 enormously tall black dudes walk in. You're like, what is happening?
yeah.
Yeah.
Surely they're not the Harlem. You don't want to assume
You guys,
they're the Harlem
you
Globetrotters,
guys play basketball? You ever thought about playing basketball?
but they are.
Don't get into comedy. You can try basketball.
Right.
You guys are pretty tall.
And they came and they sat in the back and they were awesome, dude. They watched the whole open mic. They laughed at everybody. It was like a great mic.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of the few nights I wasn't at that mic. They're like, the next day I go, how was the mic last night? Yeah, the Harlem Globetrotters were there.
Ah, jeez.
What?
You were like, I was at home watching Doug.
Well, this is interesting because I'm hearing y'all's favorite cartoons. I
Yeah.
don't know if this is a function of when I grew up or if it's a reflection of me, but all of my cartoons that I watched were of real life stuff.
These are kids' cartoons.
These
though,
are for
right? When
kids.
you were kids. Okay.
Yeah, no superhero stuff, nothing supernatural, just all normal. It could be a TV show
Okay.
if they wanted it to be. So these are my favorites. Doug, we've already talked about. Hey Arnold was a
Okay.
big one. Takes place in what I assume is New York City. There are theories that it takes place somewhere else, but it's in an urban area.
I'll tell you what, though, if Arnold's real, he's getting made fun of.
Well, he's made fun of relentlessly in the show.
Oh, okay.
He's called Football Head.
Okay, yeah.
That's him right there in the front. That's his best friend, Gerald.
They would definitely call him Football Head at my school.
This is Harold right here, the fat kid. He's a bully, but he's Jewish. So there's an episode where you go to his bar mitzvah, and really, he's struggling with his own weight and everything else.
He's got his own issues.
Bad relationship with his parents. That's Sid. He's the poor kid. Stinky Peterson on the top left. I mean, just a great mix of people. Helga.
I've seen a little Hey Arnold.
She's the bully, Helga, but she's actually in love with Arnold the whole series.
Okay.
So there's a little tension there.
Okay.
This show, I used to love just the freedom of these kids running around the city, no parents anywhere, right? They would go take the train at like 2 a.m. and you're like, who's letting these kids do this, right? But Arnold grew up in a boarding house with all kinds of random people in there.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And if you watch it, there's like some of the episodes are sad and they explore like real stuff. This is a great show.
Where did it air?
Nickelodeon.
Okay.
This is like the mid to late 90s.
Yeah. So you guys had professional cartoon channels.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. That's all they aired. And we didn't have cable, but I remember the cable guy, when he was setting up our TV, he was like, we'll give you Nickelodeon.
Wow.
Just Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon and ESPN.
Wow.
Because I think he knew my dad. I think he went to the same church as us or something. So he's like, I'll give y'all Nickelodeon and ESPN. So we had basic cable and then Nickelodeon and ESPN.
Wow.
That's all we had. So I didn't grow up we had Cartoon Network was around, but we didn't have it in our house.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch any of those. Just Nickelodeon and
Okay.
Nice.
yeah. And then the other one, Rocket Power. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Rocket Power is a Nickelodeon cartoon.
Well, who is this kid, though? I know this kid.
Skate Kids. That's Otto Rocket right there. He's like,
To the right here, that's a kid from another cartoon.
that's Squid, dude. He's called Squid. You know what I'm talking about?
I feel like I watched this cartoon, and I feel like this guy had a different name.
Maybe. It's just about kids, again, running around. Parents are not really around.
This seems like Rugrats.
Well, yeah, this is after
Looks
Rugrats.
similar.
So maybe
But
this
the
is when the
animation-
Rugrats are grown up.
The animation looks similar. There was a show called Rugrats All Grown Up when they
Yeah.
were 12.
Oh, okay.
Which is so funny to call them all grown up and they're
This
in middle
guy
school.
seems like a Rugrat, though.
Well, just the animation's
Skeeter, yeah.
similar. Yeah, but that's Twister and that's Rocket Girl and that's Squid. He's the new kid.
Okay.
Another great show. Let's pull it up right here. Fillmore. Now, y'all are not going to have heard of this
Never
show.
heard
This
of
show
Fillmore.
was so short-lived. It used to air Saturday mornings on ABC. I used to love cop shows. I told you we watched Law and Order as a kid, as a family. This was Law and Order, but at a school, dude. That's Fillmore, the main character. He was like a thug kid.
Okay.
He got in trouble for stealing chalk. And then they're like, you can go to detention or you can become a cop, essentially.
Okay.
So it's a parody of cop shows, but it's hall monitors at a school. So they just solve crimes. The
Let me
crimes.
guess. This girl is the girl who does. Is the scientist. You ever see the? You ever see what's the one with Mark?
CSI?
Yeah, like how he has the weird girl that is always like.
Oh, that's NCIS.
Yeah,
The weird
yeah.
girl. Similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all work on this hall
She's a
monitor
little goth.
police force. And there's like a captain. That's him in the back. And he's always drinking coffee.
Oh yeah.
And the funniest part about the show to me was when they find the perp, they chase them. They have these chase scenes. And you're like, they got to come to school the next day.
Yeah.
Like, just let them come to school the next day.
Yeah.
There's no point of chasing these kids. But that show is fun. It only lasted 2 seasons. The biggest one for me was this show, Recess.
Never heard
Disney's
of
Recess.
Recess.
No.
Aired Saturday mornings on ABC.
Are you
Used
the
to
blonde
watch
kid
this
there?
show. I'm a little bit of...
That's me up the top.
That's so mean. If you're listening, he just pointed at the fattest kid in the group.
I'm the kid with the backwards hat. No, I'm the cool kid.
I'm a little bit of everybody in this group. TJ's the leader of this group. He's the cool kid. And then there's Spinelli. She's the feisty. She's into I don't know. She's just kind of mean, but she's fun. He's the athlete. Vince is the athlete. Gus is the dorky new kid. He's the poet. The fat guy, Mikey's the poet of the group. And then that's the smart girl. And they exist on this playground where there's an entire society. There's a king. There's a class system. It was so much fun, dude. I watched the show all the time as a kid. Recess. Highly recommend it.
That.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you had a couple I had not heard of.
Mm-hmm.
It is funny, though, how the segue, mine are all totally ridiculous. Yours was a blend of kind of transforming into more, and then yours was just...
Mine are all, there was like SpongeBob was around, and that's obviously, it's like sea creatures.
Yeah.
Right.
But all the ones that I really gravitated towards were just real kids. Like that could have been a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing crazy in it, but a lot of fun.
What about adults?
All right. I looked up, by the way, I'm still on this Wonder Twins.
Mhm.
So they were part of the all new Super Friends hours, and they would touch their fist and say the phrase Wonder Twin powers activate.
And that's where the rings would touch.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. All time. I don't, these are a few like specials, like number 1, Charlie Brown's Christmas.
Well, that's a good one. Yeah,
Now, a lot of people, I know I said I was Elmer Fudd. A lot of people on the podcast say I'm Charlie Brown. I don't feel that way, but I'm okay. I like Charlie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I like Charlie Brown, and I like that. I used to watch that a lot growing up. Charlie Brown's Christmas.
It's very good. I mean, it's amazing that came out in the 60s, and it's about commercialization of Christmas. And it was the 60s.
Is it really about that?
Yeah. Charlie Brown's upset because everyone's just into, his dog enters a contest for best decoration and wins. And
yeah, I mean, our society has been in decline for a long time.
But that's amazing. That's from the 60s when you think it was whatever.
Do you think Charles Schultz, do you think he made this cartoon for free? Or did he get paid to do it?
Oh, you're trying to make a point about...
Well, what's Charlie Brown's deal? Why is he always, everything's bad and is happening to him?
Yeah.
Is it just bad luck or does he bring it on a little bit?
That's a fair question, I guess. I don't know.
Well, he's got to bring it on a little bit. You got to know Lucy's going to pull the football. You got to be smarter than that.
Okay. So he's a little bit of a dunce, but just bad luck.
I don't know if he's a dunce or if he's just trusting, right? Maybe that's it. Like he just trusts that Lucy this time is going to hold the football.
Oh, so he's good to a fault in this world that just beats on him.
I think so. I don't know enough about him to speak on it.
What do you think?
The Peanuts comic strip went on for decades.
Right.
There's not that many, I don't think, actual live animation. There's specials, But
it started and it's primarily just like cartoons in a newspaper?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think the Peanuts went on for a long, long time. But that's really good. I mean, there's a scene where Linus gets up and talks about the meaning of Christmas and, and reads or recites a scripture from the Bible.
Oh, interesting.
It's amazing that that's still on primetime TV every year.
Also has the best soundtrack, the best Christmas music ever. This Charlie Brown Christmas.
Schroeder on
it's like great jazz music. Too.
Yeah.
It's really, really awesome.
Just a couple more. Garfield's Halloween special. It was actually scary. As a kid, it was like...
Garfield was great. I really like Garfield too.
Garfield's Halloween. This was scary?
I mean, yeah, for a cartoon, like... Maybe not that shot right there.
You got to realize he's not been like your cartoons were all reality, right?
Yeah.
So he's not been jaded. Your parents were making you watch Law and Order SVU.
I was just an innocent kid.
It's just a white sheet with 2 eyeballs. He goes, ooh.
There were some scary scenes. All right.
Yeah, you were desensitized too early.
I was calloused.
Also, Christmas here. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Frosty the Snowman.
Those are all great.
Classics.
Those are timeless, too.
Oh, these are just all time. These are not necessarily ones you just enjoyed as an adult.
Yeah, they're kind of all time. I thought that's what you said we were supposed to do.
I lost track. I thought we would do some as a kid and then some as an adult.
This is why you let him run the podcast
That's
stuff.
true.
Stop trying to do stuff yourself.
Yeah. All right, I'll do a couple as an adult. Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh,
You
that's
watch
on
that
my
show?
list. I love that show.
You watch that show?
That's on my list. I love that show. I thought nobody would have that on the list. Boom.
This show stinks.
Oh,
Really?
Gosh, I love
I
that
don't know.
show.
I've never seen it,
It's
but
so
I could
funny.
I'm just looking at it. It looks like the worst show ever
It does
made.
look like the worst, but it's really funny.
What is it? A drink and a thing of fries and a meatball talking to each other?
Meatwad.
I never... Yeah, it's Meatwad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Get it right.
Meatwad is
Shake.
Yeah, and then they got a
shake.
And then they got a neighbor, Carl.
Yeah, there's Carl. I never got into Adult Swim. All those are so weird. But somebody told me about, there was a period they're like, oh, you should watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And it was funny.
It is really funny.
Squidbillies. Watch that for a while.
Oh, that's a great one. I'm going to add that to number 10. I forgot about it. That way I can have 10. I forgot about it.
Okay, I recognize this little octopus thing.
Yeah.
Or squid.
Squid.
Yeah.
I actually have that hat. That's hilarious. Somebody gave me that hat in a show.
You have a hat that says Booty Hunter on
Yeah,
it?
I have that exact hat.
Wow.
Somebody gave that to me at a show.
Yeah, wear that on the podcast sometime.
Yeah.
I think that's shot in Atlanta, and I think a lot of Atlanta comics have done some voicing on it.
Oh, that's fun.
Not shot, I guess, but
Yeah.
animated in Atlanta. Quiet on set.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be
Mr. Squid, come on out.
I think Billy Joe Shaver's done some stuff on it, I think, and country singer that I like.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You want me to hit my 10?
Sure.
I'm going to go
I
Squid.
didn't do 10, but that's enough.
I'm going to go Squidbillies first, but obviously I just wrote that down. I'm going South Park number 9. South Park gets a little too much for me, but I would be lying if I did not say I had not enjoyed a ton of South Park episodes.
Because when it came out, you were the perfect age.
Yeah, I mean, I was in high school when it came out. I mean, I've laughed at South Park a lot. There's a show that I just recently started, but it's one of my all-time favorites already because it's so good, and I'm into anything Mike Judge does. And this is Tales from the Tour Bus, which is he just animates, basically interviews. The first season is all country music, and the very first episode is Johnny Paycheck, and it's so great. It's so good.
Looks funny.
The next, Beavis and Butthead, really great. I wasn't able to watch it as a kid, but I've gone back and watched a lot as an adult. Very funny. Bob's Burgers, great cartoon. Futurama, like that one a lot. That's the Simpsons creator.
Mm-hmm.
Love that one. Number 4 is more of a movie, but it's called Planet Hulk, and it is basically Ragnarok, but in this Hulk wins. It's not.
That's a regular show?
It was
a regular cartoon?
Yeah. I mean,
Never heard of this.
Yeah. Thor does not win in this. The whole problem with the Marvel universe is that they used Hulk as kind of like this punching bag to show how strong the other Avengers were. And I didn't read a ton of comic books, but from what I understand, Hulk, people don't beat up on Hulk like that.
I'm so surprised. I'm always surprised you're so into superhero stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels so against everything else you.
Well, it's like it's from your childhood. You know, you get into all these things as a child, and then
Like
when
Harry Potter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. So, but
Except, you know.
well, I mean, it is exactly like it.
Yeah.
But why is it okay? Not okay for him to like Harry Potter now, but
It is okay for him to like it. It's witchcraft, but it is okay for him to like it.
Okay.
You know. And then number 3, I put Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Laughed at that a lot as an adult. Number 2, Family Guy.
Family Guy is so great.
And number 1, adult cartoon of all time, King of the Hill.
King of the Hills, unbelievable.
so a lot of people
dude.
call you
Dale Gribble.
Yeah.
Yeah. And other than being, super weak, I agree with him. Dale Gribble's a super weak man. But other than that, I agree with him.
He is a weak guy, right?
He is
I mean, his wife is having a kid with a.
Yeah.
What's his name?
What is his name?
Johnny.
John Redwood, I think. Is it Redwood?
I don't know.
Red Man. Isn't it? It's something on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Great cartoon.
But I love that cartoon, though. What is the guy?
But what is it about? What is it about a cartoon? Any of these, if they were live action, I feel like the charm of it would be gone.
Yeah.
To some degree, yeah. And I think Mike Judge animation is really good because it's not perfect animation, but it's just in the way that it's like animation can be too good now to where I think that a little bit of it letting you know, because there's another one like it's called like 6 Ounce Mouse or something like that. It's like some of the worst animation ever, but it was pretty good.
Big Loudmouth, that one?
No, it's like something mouse. It's like a certain ounce mouse.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like it's pretty good. I mean, it's just the dialogue that goes back and forth. And I mean, King of the Hill is number 1 cartoon of all time. Now, hopefully, I mean, I've been pitching a cartoon. I sold a cartoon to Hulu one time that never got made. And then I sold one to another company and it never got made, but I'm working on some stuff.
Can you tell us anything about
Let
him?
me see if I can find it. I don't even know anything about it yet, but
That's probably why your pitch didn't get picked up.
Yeah, that's true. No,
I don't know anything about what I'm
I got
about to
this
say.
cartoon idea. I
no,
don't
the
know much
old
about
one.
it.
If I could find a picture of, I would share it.
Yeah, airdrop it to me.
Of the old, but
So
I'll look for it.
I did not watch, still don't, most of these adult cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
The Simpsons started when I was in high school. That's how it's been around. And I really have rarely watched it. But I know there's so many cultural references that come from The Simpsons. Yesterday, we're headed to the airport in Albuquerque. We drive by. Our Uber driver is giving us a tour of the city, basically. We didn't ask him to, but he just volunteered to tell us, about a tour of the city.
Now,
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry. He just pulled it up.
Yeah, but he's in the middle
Okay,
of the story.
sorry.
I'll wrap this up
Jeez, guys.
until you're bored.
Jeez. All right, sorry.
We drive by.
I've been searching for it the whole time you've been telling the story, so I was not.
You know that we weren't just sitting quietly waiting for you to pull
I know,
it
but
up,
I
right?
missed all the
right.
story.
Okay, yeah.
Yesterday, I'm in Albuquerque. We're headed to the airport. Our Uber driver voluntarily starts giving us a tour of the city,
Right.
which I'm interested in because Breaking Bad, and there's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
drive by their minor league baseball stadium,
Isotopes.
Isotopes.
Right.
That came from The Simpsons. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that at all.
Apparently, there's an episode, I have it here somewhere because I remember it, where they're moving the team from Springfield in The Simpsons, and they're sorry. The Springfield Isotopes from The Simpsons, season 2 called Dancin' Homer, in which the main character, Homer Simpson, temporarily becomes his local team's mascot. In the episode, Homer attempts to thwart the team's plan to move to Albuquerque by going on a hunger strike.
Wow.
And they did a fan vote, and they called themselves the
I just
Isotopes.
assumed it was something to do with nuclear energy or something.
I think that helps.
yeah, I think it's a good fit for it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now, I'm sorry, Dusty, we'll get to that. That made me one more question, though. The Simpsons, is, in your mind, Homer the main character?
Well, when I was a kid, Bart Simpson was the main.
Me too.
Because it was like, that's what I would say. I want to watch Bart Simpson. I wouldn't say The Simpsons. Bart Simpson was the main character.
And
Somewhere it shifted, though.
I had a toy Bart Simpson.
do you think it shifted from your perspective or in the show, the way the show told the story?
Well, who's your
I
perspective?
never really watched The Simpsons. I was not allowed to watch it as a kid and never really picked it up as an adult.
I just think that as we grew with the show, I think they shifted it to Homer because now we're adults.
Maybe so, but who would you envision? Because I didn't watch The Simpsons either.
When I think of the show, I think of Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
I think with the donut, that's what I
Yeah.
think of.
Yeah. I feel like they shifted it.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at this.
Well, it was a working title. We weren't like, this is the name. This was just kind of a working title. But yeah, this was our animation. Obviously, I'm the little kid there with a hat that says Dusty on it.
If you're listening, it's outside a trailer.
Yeah, and then there's my mom has got her arm on me, and then the two other girls are my sisters, and then that's my brother-in-law in the lawn chair, and then their daughter. Right? So that was
That's
There's
amazing. too.
yeah.
That is amazing. There's a possum on the roof, I believe.
Yeah, because I got a joke. A possum's got a toothbrush. I got a joke about a possum.
Was that going to be a character in the show? The
Yeah.
possum was like your
Yeah.
pet,
Not my pet, but it was going to be kind of a thing that would pop up.
just
a lot.
always around.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Looks like some California redwoods back there.
Well, that is what I told him. I said, "Well, I said this is great, but I was like, your trees are off. You got the wrong trees.
Yeah, put some pine trees out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, your trees are off, but everything else looks good. Even the concrete steps, that cement block steps.
Now,
That
what
is
is what
amazing.
is this girl doing? She has more of a
that's-
9
yeah.
to 5 job.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was like, we had the kind of two sisters, one being more redneck than the other kind of thing. going.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
And then that's my sister, like trying to get out of the.
Wow.
And that's your other sister and her baby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
And where does this stand? Could this happen?
Well, I don't know. Something like this could happen, but this was the one I sold to Hulu in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And now
What happened in 2020?
Well, I think what happened was King of the Hill was announced that they were coming back. And apparently
Oh.
King of the Hill is coming back, but it takes a long time.
yeah. The animation takes forever.
Yeah.
I've heard.
So that was announced that it was coming back, and I think it killed my show.
Mhm.
Greg Garcia, like I said, was on the road with us this weekend. He worked on a couple of seasons of Family Guy as a writer.
Oh, that's
he
cool.
said it's so fun just to say, we're in Saudi Arabia. and you can just write a scene.
You can just do whatever.
Yeah,
Where
do
if you're
whatever.
doing a live action show,
Yeah.
And the guy writing this with me was a writer from Family Guy. And I thought we wrote a really great script. It was really funny.
yeah.
We just had tons of free time during 2020. I'm just zooming with this guy and we're writing it. And you're right. You just do whatever you want with animation. You write whatever you want.
That's crazy because there's stuff you probably don't even think of if you're doing a live action show.
Right.
Because obviously we can't go to the Sahara Desert,
Yeah.
or the Eiffel Tower or
Right.
whatever. That's so cool.
Right.
Yeah.
So we should go through that list real fast and see if there's anything we missed.
Yeah, well, let's just go through. We got a few minutes left here. This is the top 50 50 cartoon characters.
Oh,
Is that the list you sent me?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Top 50 cartoon characters. Let's just go down to the top 10.
Sure.
Yeah, I already skipped past
Winnie the Pooh, great.
Steven Universe. Never even heard of this.
Not
either.
familiar. Created 2013.
13, a little past my prime. Zuko from Avatar, The Last Airbender. Never watched that.
I didn't either.
Here we go. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
They lumped all four of them in.
Yeah, see, that was my show right there. I mean, that show, I had all those toys. I mean, that show was great.
That's by far Nate's favorite.
Scooby-Doo and Shaggy.
Yeah,
Never knew his last name.
me either.
Shaggy Rogers? That doesn't even sound real.
Great characters.
Voiced
though.
by Casey Kasem.
Also, have you ever had the Scooby snacks, the actual snacks?
Mm-mm.
Pretty
No.
good. It's pretty good. They're like gummies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tastes good. Mickey Mouse.
No doubt.
Ugh.
I'm not a big fan, but no doubt that's one of the greatest characters.
I
of
think
all
he's the
time.
most popular, probably worldwide.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Oh, sure. Yeah, the ears are just the ears alone are iconic.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob SquarePants
Great
is up
character.
there. Yeah. Tom and Jerry,
Wow, that's surprising there in the top 4.
Charlie Brown and Snoopy.
Yeah.
3, and then number 2, Homer Simpson. Not surprising. I think the longest running TV show of all time, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
And then number 1, Bugs Bunny. I mean, that's a solid list.
Well,
Space
go
Magazine.
back here, up a little bit.
Mhm.
No, back down to Homer.
Yeah.
Right here. It says,
The
okay.
first
It
2
was
seasons
it was
of The
Halloween
Simpsons
episode
were
was the
focused on
666.
Bart, but as it became Homer centric, the show became something truly special.
That's interesting.
So it did shift.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
I think the first popular cartoon I read was Mickey Mouse. It was called Steamboat Willie. And there's a scene in
Yeah.
I think I've seen that.
there's a scene in Saving Private Ryan where they can't capture a Nazi soldier and they're about to execute him. And
Mhm.
he's trying to show them, guys, I'm Americanized now. I love America. And I think one of the references he tries to say is Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he starts singing the national anthem and he goes, "Oh, say, can you see?
Yeah.
Oh, say, can you
Oh,
see? Oh, say, can you see?" It's actually a really heartbreaking scene.
Yeah, Betty Boop. I think he references Betty Boop, another cartoon.
And that guy comes back and kills a bunch of Americans at the end after they let him out.
Jeez.
Spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
War as hell, boys.
There's Flintstones was the first primetime cartoon, and there's a commercial. I think I sent to you a cigarette ad where they use the Fred Flintstone and Barney to promote cigarettes.
Oh yeah.
How about that? The good old days, huh?
That's what I'm saying.
It's very funny. They're out hanging out. Their wives are working. They're like, "This is tough, man. Let's go in the back and get away from this." That's Barney saying, "Let's get out of here." And they go in the back and
Wait, they're just trying to get away from their wives working?
yeah, it's a very funny. Even today, it would be very funny. They're like, "This is tough to watch. Let's go hang out." And then he's like, "I could really relax with some cigarettes, some Winston's."
Some Winstons,
Yeah, not a
dude.
bad
Winston
idea.
100s.
Yeah.
Well, they work really hard. Those guys. I mean,
Yeah,
Fred
they're-
and Barney work at a rock
That's
factory.
true. That's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. They're
Yeah.
not just like lazy bums.
Yeah, I mean they work really hard.
Yeah, you're right. That's how it starts with them sliding down the
Yeah, I
the
mean,
back of the dinosaur. Here's a couple of phrases.
This is so funny.
I know.
I'm trying to
work in
imagine
a-
like a SpongeBob commercial where they're
yeah.
doing this.
You work in a rock factory, you deserve a cigarette. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Cowabunga. You know what that's from?
My old boss used to smoke Winston's. Cowabunga is
It's a phrase.
Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ninja
yeah.
Turtles. When you said, I remember the episode where you said, "I think, therefore I am" is the
Mhm.
most popular phrase.
Cogito ergo sum.
Whatever.
And Nate said cowabunga.
yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. He's a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's up, Doc?
Big
That's
one.
funny.
Big one.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a half shell, turtle power. They're the world's most fearsome fighting Teenage Mutant. potato power, something like that.
What's the most popular theme song for a cartoon?
Probably the SpongeBob one, dude, for my generation.
Chippendales is pretty
ready,
popular.
kids? Aye, aye, Captain. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob.
It's for sure. But
Yeah,
Chippendales was a big one.
Mhm.
Chippendales.
Mine's the Jetsons.
That's here's
popular.
George Jetson.
Or Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo theme. Some
What is the Scooby-Doo thing?
Scooby-Doo.
Oh man,
where
yeah, that's
are
a big
you?
one. That's a big one for sure.
G.I. Joe, American Heroes.
Well, you know what
something like
probably
that.
transcended all that was the Batman. Yeah. I've never even seen that cartoon.
That was a real show that was doing that.
But I've never seen that cartoon. But I know the thing.
But that cartoon,
That wasn't a cartoon.
that wasn't the theme of the cartoon. That was the theme of the real show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The cartoon was pretty dark.
But I think the opening where they do that, it's animated, isn't it?
Kung pow.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
All right.
All right.
Should we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up. Put
Okay.
a bow on this bad boy.
Oh, you got more?
Oh, no. I was-
He's wrapping up his dates.
Oh, okay. All right.
Plugs
All
and
right.
stuff.
This weekend I'm off. And
Could be working.
could be working. But I will say next weekend I have 2 shows in Lafayette, Louisiana. That's May 17th. May 18th on my birthday, I have 2 shows in Dallas at the Texas Theater.
Oh.
The first show I believe is sold out, but the second one is, we have tickets. So
You know that's the theater Lee Harvey Oswald
I
was
do know
found
that,
in.
yeah.
You going to get into that?
yeah. But I want to push these 2. And June 7th and June 8th. June 7th, I'm in Fargo, North Dakota. June 8th, I'm in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Beautiful.
I never have done much in North Dakota, and apparently those are, where we could use a little push.
Mhm.
The other shows are selling very well, but those 2 we could use a little extra help in there. But they're going to be great. I
Mhm.
love it. And then one more thing, Royal Oak, Michigan. I've added a second show on June 1st.
The music hall there?
It's going to be
Royal Oak
let's see.
Music Hall?
I don't have those details, but
Yeah, it's a theater, right?
Yes, theater show.
Heck yeah.
Very excited about it. I love that area.
That rules, man.
Yeah.
Well, for weeks I've been pitching my show at McFiller's Theater in Chehalis, Washington.
Yeah.
And they called last week and said, we're going to have to cancel the show because of low ticket sales.
Ah, that's a bummer.
That's still a little bit out though, but you just were in the area.
It's this weekend, but yes,
Okay.
I wasn't even, it's in 3 days, but
Okay.
I wasn't even surprised because I was just in Tacoma and Portland.
Yes.
It's an hour in between both of those places. And I told them when they asked me, I said, I'm just there. And they're like, we got our own audience, but
Yeah.
they did not.
We got our own audience, but they're not into what you're doing apparently.
They've never met Brian Bates. He'll bring an audience down. So anyway, that show is canceled this weekend. I'm sorry for the people who did buy tickets. Tonight I am at, I'm doing a show for Young Life Capernaum. It is a ticketed event. I'm doing it with some Christian singer-songwriters. It's at Nashville Glass House.
Glass House.
Like
Don't throw stones,
HAUS.
guys.
And May 26th, that's on my website if you want to come to that. May 26th, I'm at Stand Up Live in Huntsville.
Oh, nice.
So please
Nice.
come.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a fun club.
Yeah.
Tonight, Wednesday, May 8th, I'm headlining the Hollywood Improv, the Lab. I'll be honest, it's the Lab. It's
This
the
is Aaron, by
small
the way.
room, but this is Aaron Weber speaking, by the way. Welcome to Aaron Land, everybody. Tonight in Los Angeles, the city of angels, dude, where it all happens.
Mhm.
Come on out and see me at the Hollywood Improv. Then I got a few weeks of opening for people, doing some corporate stuff. And
Go see Aaron at the Lab. I
Yeah.
want to say I saw a comment. Somebody commented this on something about me, and they go, watched Dusty's special. It was really funny. They were like, I like Nateland, but I wasn't sure about Dusty's stand up or whatever. And they're like, I watched it and he's hilarious. And it's like, yeah, we're all hilarious.
Yeah.
We're all professional comedians.
Yeah.
here. It's Nate is obviously a worldwide superstar here, but we're still accessible.
Yeah, we're out here doing stuff too.
And we're doing very funny stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So go see Aaron at the Lab. Go see Brian at Young Life. Come see me. These are good shows.
Yeah.
This will not be mediocre comedy.
Right.
It's going to be good,
Right.
very funny comedy.
Yeah.
Go see Aaron at the Lab.
Yeah. Come check it out. All right. I can't say it better than that.
Yeah.
Come out and see me at the Lab tonight. And then, I got other stuff. AaronWeberComedy.com. Check out all my dates. Fun summer and early fall coming up.
All right.
All right.
That's
We
it.
don't usually say this, but I think I'm supposed to. Thank you to our sponsors, AG1, DraftKings Pick 6, Rocket Money, and Lectric eBikes. None of this is lost on us.
We love everyone.
We love everyone.
We're having a good time.
And Nate will be back for episode 200 next week.
Supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully so.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see you then.
We'll
We're
be
having
here.
a good time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Nateland is produced by Nateland Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the Audio Boom platform. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nateland Podcast.